chilly Friday night, we welcome you in to Kingston Stadium here in Cedar Rapids, week number 2 of the high school football campaign going into its second Friday evening. And we've got a good one tonight here in Class 5A, as it could be the top big school matchup of the year here in the Cedar Rapids Marion metro area, as we get set for Cedar Rapids Prairie, number 9 rated in Class 5A, taking on Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Brooks Press Box here at Kingston Stadium. Scott Unash, Coach John Haggerty with you as we get ready for a single game tonight, a little bit different. No freshman game or sophomore game to kick things off here this evening. It is a one-fer that will get kicked off at 7 o'clock here tonight between two 1-0 teams. Kennedy coming off a win on the road up at Dubuque as they beat Hempstead last week, and Cedar Rapids Prairie with a shutout over at Linn-Mar Stadium against the Linn-Mar Lions by a score of 38-0. And John, as we mentioned last night on our broadcast when the schedules came out, you, I, and a lot of people were looking forward to the first meeting in 5 years between the Cougars and the Prairie Hawks.
Little odd, a quirk of scheduling, but it actually worked out pretty well, I think, for a number of reasons. But everybody, I'm talking the players, the fans, everyone concerned want to see this game tonight. And so the anticipation, the buildup, the excitement surrounding all of this, it's a very palpable tonight. And we're very fortunate because we got football weather.
We do. We got football weather. There was a wind chill today, believe it or not. Now, a small one when your temperature is 62 and the feel-like temperature is 60. But right now, 61 degrees. There is a little bit of a wind from the west-northwest at about 10. Not like it was last night, but it is anticipated to die down during the broadcast and during the football game tonight. So we will see if that plays out. But, yeah, not only two teams that have had a lot of success over the last handful of years, 10 to 15 years with Prairie and Kennedy, but probably the main storyline in this one is the fact that you've got interspersed among the two coaching staffs a lot of green wearing black and orange tonight, and a little bit of black and orange wearing green tonight. So it's probably not going to be as big of a deal as a lot of people think it is. 51 weeks of the year, they're good friends. Have they talked this week? No. They have not talked this week. And they will probably talk tomorrow, they said.
Absolutely, regardless of the outcome.
Regardless of the outcome. But we saw this in Kennedy and Wash for so many years when a lot of these guys were on those two staffs, and now we have transformed it into Kennedy and Prairie.
Well, that's the respect that these guys have for each other and the success that they've all had at their respective schools. But, you know, take Prairie by itself. Head coach Kyle Knock, of course, was a former Cougar player himself as a prep, and then was a longtime coordinator for Brian White, the head coach at Kennedy still. And so he kind of begins with that. But then Kyle Knock has surrounded himself at Prairie with two other former Kennedy head coaches, one being his father and the other being a guy that he coached with too in Brian Lewis. So throw into that mix a former Wash head coach in Mo Blue, and we're just starting to get the Peyton Place storyline started here, Scott.
But there's going to be a football game tonight, and that's the bottom line here. And two teams that have high hopes. Both were, I tell you what, if you went through the list and picked out the 16 top teams in 5A last year, Kennedy and Prairie probably would have been included. Now,
agree.
With that being said, they played killer schedules last year. Both did not make the playoffs. They want to rectify that situation. They both believe they have the talent to do so. They got off to a very good start this year, both 1-0 coming in. And one of these two teams is going to be 2-0 in a couple hours.
Well, with those big wins in the first week, they should have had a very good week of practice. And coming into this game tonight should be very fresh. And, of course, the excitement of the renewed rivalry, that's in there too. But just the traditions that these two schools have. You know, you can talk about a losing season for both of them last year. Last time Kennedy had a losing season, all they did was bounce back and go to the state championship game. And in terms of Prairie, They've been knocking on the door of getting to the Unidome. How many years have they gotten to the quarterfinals and then just not quite been able to get up to Cedar Falls in the top 4? They think this is their year, Scott.
We welcome you into the Jersey Mike's Subs pregame show here from Kingston Stadium tonight. Jersey Mike's with their 3 locations, the Fountains on the northeast side, the east end of Marion, and Westdale area on the west side here in Cedar Rapids. Big thanks to Matt Arusha, everybody at Jersey Mike's. They are a sub above. We got both coaches waiting in the wings. We're going to hear first from Cougar head coach Brian White and then Kyle Knock of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Back with more on the Jersey Mike's Subs pregame show right after this here on CRM Live Sports.
At Jersey Mike's, we've offered a sub above since 1956. It starts with bread, fresh baked in our stores every day, topped with quality meats, cheeses, and ingredients sliced and grilled right in front of your eyes. And don't forget to add the juice, the red wine vinegar and olive oil blend that gives a Jersey Mike's subs its exquisite zing. Stop in and visit Jersey Mike's now at their 3 metro locations in the Fountains on the northeast side and on the east end of Marion near the corner of Highways 151 and 13 and Edgewood Road in the Westdale area. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. The Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades Council represents 18 building trade unions in the corridor. Each union provides skilled workers for construction projects throughout the area. Union workers are highly skilled professionals who are determined to better their communities. The building trades unions are always looking toward the future. Training in registered apprenticeships is available. Visit their website at cricbt.org for more information. The Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building and Trades Council, committed to getting the job done right the first time. The Jersey Mike's Subs pregame show, getting ready for Kennedy and Prairie with head coach Brian White of the Cougars. And 1-0, great start last week on the road up at Dubuque and Dalzell Field. Got to be happy about that?
Absolutely. Go up to Dubuque and, it's a nice stadium, beautiful field, and to go up there and get a win on week 1 with a pretty good Dubuque Hempstead team. They returned a lot of players and knew we'd be in for a battle, and we were. And second half we kind of took advantage of some things and got up on them, and then ended up a nice win with it.
Made some adjustments in at halftime to get that lead and take it home.
Yeah, we of course in week 1 you're always going to make some mistakes and you got to clean those things up. But we did make some adjustments at halftime, and we moved the ball well all night long and took advantage of some field position in the second half and had a nice night.
Yeah. Broke in a new quarterback, and for the first time in 3 years, a little different, but how'd Will do?
Yeah, Will did great. And Will's, he's an ultra competitor. He's a great kid. He's a smart kid. He wants to do well, and he's got a little extra dimension that we haven't had for a couple years, and he's got some pretty good legs on him. So we can run him a little bit, and we plan on doing that. And he's a good kid, and hopefully he can lead us the rest of the way.
And he's got a line in front of him that's big again. Highlighted by a freshman. We were trying to figure out if there's ever been a freshman that has started before in the Metro, and we came up empty. So if you know one, let us know.
Well, unfortunately, we had some bad fortune, and up until we got into practice, we lost 2 offensive linemen for the year, 2 returning starters we lost for the year. We had another one go down, and so next thing you know, you're like you thought that was going to be the strength of your team, and now all of a sudden you're scratching your head like, what the heck are we going to do? And with this freshman, he's a dude. He's a great wrestler. He's a big kid. He's 6'1", 6'2", 280 pounds, tougher than nails. And as soon as we brought him up, we figured, he fit right in. And, he's one of our better offensive linemen right now.
Defensively, how did you feel about how week 1 went on that side of the ball?
We played very well at times. Again, Hempstead returned to starting quarterback, starting tailback, 3 offensive linemen. They have a good offense. Once we got settled in a little bit, defense really started playing. In the second half, they were lights out. So, we're excited about what they can do. Again, we've had the injury bug on that side of the ball. We lost a kid for the year over there too. So, unfortunately, those things happen in football, and you just got to get the next man ready to go.
I know one of the things you guys really emphasized going into the season was kind of a fresh start this year, coming off that non-playoff year, which is, doesn't happen very often with Kennedy football. And you think you've achieved that so far?
Yeah, we didn't really talk a lot about last year. What we talked about is what are we going to do this year? And we went back to fundamentals. And I met with seniors all winter. met with them one-on-one, met with them in small groups, and talked about, what do you want? What do you want out of the season? What do you hope to accomplish? And we set a lot of goals in the off season, and then when we got together in June and started practicing, every day we reminded them of those goals, and the seniors have shown such leadership this year, and a lot of that means quite a bit when you're going into a season, but also it really helps having those senior leaders that we haven't had for a little bit around here.
Well, Prairie tonight, and obviously they're off to a 1-0 start, a good shutout win last week, and a lot of good talent coming back for the Hawks. What do you think about them?
Pretty good football team. They have a big offensive line, and their defensive line is also really good. They're really good up front. I feel like that's the strength of their team, their offensive and defensive line. They got good skilled kids that run well. Fortunately for us, this summer we played 7-on-7. We switched leagues and played 7-on-7 with Prairie all summer, so we're familiar with their skill guys. Not familiar with their offensive and defensive line. Likewise, they're not familiar with ours. So it's going to be a battle. Hopefully, it's going to be a physical game. I know we're going to play physical. I know they're going to play physical. Hopefully, we can take care of the ball and get a couple of takeaways, and that might end up being the difference in the game.
Well, I have to ask you, this reminds me a lot of the old Kennedy Wash days when had a lot of coaches that had changed colors on the each coaching staff, and we got that tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. They might have like a dozen Kennedy people over there on their sideline, and then that one lonesome warrior, and we won't mention his name. But then, on our sideline, we've got a couple of Prairie grads that a lot of people may not know about, in Keegan Simmons and Gavin Dooley, who played at Prairie and played on some pretty successful teams. So there's some guys on our sideline too that it means a lot to them because they're playing their old school. So yeah, there's a little bit of that, and of course, a little bit of good ribbing each other and so on and so forth. And obviously, when we're not playing each other, for state RPI things, we want them to win every game they can, and I'm sure they're going to want us to win every game they can, or we can. But tonight, we want to win.
First time in 5 seasons Kennedy and Prairie have got together, so I don't know, it's about time, right?
Yeah, the last time we were together was in that COVID year, and it was a playoff game, and there was a lot of bad feelings and some heated moments after that, and I think administrators got together and said, we need to cool it for a little while. Most of those administrators are no longer around, and coaching staffs have changed dramatically, so it's time to get back together, and really our rivals now are Linn-Mar and Prairie, because we don't get to play the other 2 schools anymore. So this is a rivalry game for us, and in 2 weeks when we play Linn-Mar, it's going to be another rivalry game. So it's a big one.
All right, best of luck to the Cougars tonight.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
We'll be back to Kingston after this.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths, your home never looks so beautiful. Plumbing fixtures, a great variety. Transform your home with Plum Supply. Our kitchen designs are amazing. Our service is priceless. Plum Supply. Touch and see. Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Are you looking for one unique workout location that combines everything you're looking for? The House of Iron is redefining the Cedar Rapids area fitness landscape. House of Iron isn't just another gym, it's a sanctuary for anyone seeking to transform their life through physical and mental well-being. Sporting state-of-the-art equipment and hexagonal lighting, not only is the space illuminated with a sense of energy and purpose, you will be too. Take advantage of our other amenities like a cold plunge, a sauna, ultra-modern locker room, showers, and a picture and posing room, and more. House of Iron offers monthly memberships as well as personal training sessions for people of all ages and ability. Whether you're a seasoned fitness enthusiast or just beginning your wellness adventure, House of Iron promises to be more than just a gym. It's a beacon of hope, positivity, and vitality. House of Iron with 2 locations on the west side and in the historic World Theater Building downtown. Mike Sub's pregame show, getting ready for Prairie and Kennedy, and head coach Kyle Knock of the Hawks joining me. And 38-0, can't script it much better than the opening win last week in Linn-Mar.
Yeah, the only thing that really set us back was the weather delay, and starting at about 9 o'clock. And we were a little sluggish at the beginning, but our defense kept it scoreless. And once we got the offense rolling, it kind of was, never looked back.
Kind of like Kennedy's game. It took a little while to get going, but then once you did, things really started to click.
Yeah, it's we got a lot of good, talented kids on our offense, and I think they're their idea of what it needs to look like all the time is sometimes too perfect. And I told them football is an imperfect game. We just got to keep snapping it and keep playing the next play. And once we kind of calmed down, things kind of took care of themselves.
Broke in a new quarterback, and how did that go week one?
Kale made some good decisions. The fumble early, I'm not sure it was a fumble, but that was a setback a little bit. But once he got in the rhythm of the game, I thought he made really good decisions, both running the ball and through the air.
And you got a lot of skill guys that can help him out.
Yeah, I told him, I said, all you got to do, you're the point guard on the basketball team. You just get it to that guy and let him go make a play. And Drew Bennis, David Faison, Tay Alexander, we got a couple running backs we found out last week that are pretty talented. And I said, you just distribute it and sit back and watch like the rest of us.
Well, Coach Blue's defense obviously did very well last week.
I think it's year 2 now under Coach Blue on that side of the ball, and the kids are more comfortable in the scheme, and we have a lot of veteran kids back that started for us last year on that side of the ball, and that helps all the time. And they play relentless, they play fast, and I was super excited with the shutout. It's hard to do that week 1,
especially on the road.
On the road, yeah, against a team that has had a lot of success in the last few years, and I know they've lost some pieces over there at Linn-Mar, but they're an upper half 5A football program, and we were able to hold them scoreless.
Offensive and defensive lines, how would you grade them out?
We had some mental mistakes, but we're big and we're physical, and you can overcome a lot of your mental deficit when you can just move bodies around. And we had 17 tackles for a loss on defense. Offensively, I think we averaged like 6 yards a carry. Anytime you're changing the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball, you got a chance.
Well, I think one of the things that also goes overlooked is you got a pretty good kicker too.
We do. Junior does a good job. He had a nice field goal last week. He had a couple touchbacks, which that's a new thing. Last year we didn't have a lot of those, and hopefully if this wind dies down a little bit, we can get some more of those tonight. But he's done a good job. He's worked hard at his craft, and it's nice to have all 3 facets of the game.
Good to have Kennedy Prairie back in the schedule. And how about the Cougars and what you saw in their game against Hempstead?
So they obviously have speed on the edge. The Doherty kid can fly, and everyone knows that from track. I thought Will Woodring played a really good game at quarterback for his first varsity start. I know some of those kids because I coached them when they were freshmen in track, so being able to watch them and see that they're having some success. Up front, I thought they get off the ball as well as anybody we've seen, and I know Coach Mayman does a good job with those linemen. And then defensively, they're always going to fly to the ball, and we're going to have to take some advantages of maybe getting them out of position at times tonight. But overall, this is going to be a good matchup.
And a lot of familiarity on both sidelines.
Yeah, I got 2 former Kennedy head coaches on my side, and obviously a lot of those guys are still my close friends over there at Kennedy, and it's been one of those weeks where my daughter asked if I had talked to him, and I'm like, no, it's game week, and she made the comment, they're still your friends, Dad, and I said, yeah, they can be my friends on Saturday. And so a lot of respect. Obviously, I know how that program has been run for years and years and years, and there's some facets of our program that I've taken from those experiences, and it's going to look a little bit like an inter-squad scrimmage probably at times because our offenses are very similar and our defenses are pretty similar, and so we're just excited to have this matchup that needs to be played because of the traditions of both Prairie and Kennedy. This is something we got to do more often.
51 weeks of the year, you guys are good friends.
Yeah, that's about how it is. It's kind of like my friends that are Hawkeye friends. 51 weeks out of the year, we get along, and the other week we don't.
That's tomorrow.
So it's a big week in our house.
All right, best of luck to the Prairie Hawks.
Thank you.
Back with more from Kingston right after this. Spinal Corrective Center, PC, 3800 River Ridge Drive, Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Dr. Gene Kretzinger and Dr. Janet Kuehl provide education to families on healthy living and wellness. If you want to reach optimum health and peak performance levels or are suffering from injury, pain, and other health problems, the chiropractic care they provide can give you relief and stability. Spinal Corrective Center PC has over 50 years combined experience in chiropractic care. And athletes, let us help you perform at 100% through sports chiropractic care. Call today at 393-3996 to schedule an appointment or go online at spinalcc.com. Spinal Corrective Center PC, delivering quality chiropractic care for the body to function at its highest level.
Back at Kingston Stadium, Scott Udash, John Haggerty with you on the Jersey Mike Subs pregame show as we get closer and closer to kickoff at 7 o'clock tonight. Cedar Rapids Kennedy and number 9 Cedar Rapids Prairie as the Cougars making their way into their locker room. Prairie has been in there a couple of minutes, and we will get to the playing of the national anthem coming up here in just a couple of moments. And give you some of the other games tonight on the Eagles Hideaway out-of-town scoreboard. Also want to welcome back an old friend tonight. Big thanks to Tom Charlstrom, everybody at First Federal Credit Union, coming back on for our broadcast starting tonight. And do appreciate Tom and his entire staff, including one of my former college roommates, Mr. Brian Bachenstedt. So
there you go. Gets a shout out.
There you go, Bach. Good to have you and Tom back and everybody out there. And going to get to the starting lineups coming up in just a little bit. Need to talk about the keys to tonight's ball game. They're brought to you by the Cedar Rapids Iowa City Building Trades Council, representing 18 building trade unions up and down the 380 corridor. Apprenticeships are available, and you can visit them at cricbt.org. You heard from both coaches. You know a lot about Prairie and Kennedy. What are you looking at?
Yeah, well, Brian White said they got to play physical and they can't have turnovers. They need to create turnovers. Kyle Knox said we got to play fast, we got to fly to the ball, can't have any mental mistakes. Here's what I would say. You and I, Scott, learned some things about prep football in week 2 after last night. Here's what we learned from the game that we called 24 hours ago. Line play was huge, and that's going to be the case again tonight. The big uglies, they call them. Those are the guys. You can talk about all the glory boys in the secondary and the receiving core, the running backs, the quarterbacks, but it's the big uglies that I think are going to take care of business tonight for the team that wins. The other thing we learned from last night is big plays are huge. And both of these teams are capable of who can get the most big plays and score quickly. And then we also learned special teams. I mean, my goodness, you can be even Steven on both sides of the ball, but if your special teams don't come and make huge improvements in week 2, that's going to be a problem for that team. So those are my 3 keys to this game tonight, knowing that both of these schools are going to be solid probably in every facet.
Here on the Jersey Mike Subs pregame show, we are going to join right now the Cedar Rapids Kennedy Cougar Marching Band as they will perform our national anthem. And our national anthem here tonight before Kennedy and Prairie. Kicking off here from Kingston Stadium. Time to take a look at our starting lineups, which are, as always, brought to you by Plum Supply Kitchen and Bath, located at 1716 Blair's Ferry Road, northeast of Cedar Rapids. When you're thinking about your kitchen and bath remodel, Plum Supply is your starting spot for that kitchen and bath remodel. And for the visiting Prairie Hawks, both teams are big up front. For Prairie, Javen Donald at left tackle, none bigger than him. 6'5", 335, depending on breakfast, and a junior. Left guard is Will Evans, 6'4", 290 and a junior. Aiden Packard at center, 6'3", 270. He is a senior. Ben Thackler on the right side at right guard, 5'11", 260 and a senior. And Will Clausen, who played at Benton last year, right tackle, number 68, 6'6", 280 and a junior. And I think he's bigger than 6'6", 280. Just looking out there during the warm-ups here this evening. One of the best we got two of the best tight ends in the state of Iowa going at it tonight. David Faison for Prairie, 6'2", 250-pound, two-way starter. He is a senior. The quarterback, Cale Conshog. He is a 6'3", 215-pound junior. He was 14 of 18 last week for 151 yards and a touchdown. We're going to see a lot of runners for Prairie. Colt Hobson will start. 5'11", 185 and a junior. He ran for 106 yards. The City High transfer, Dawson Call. He was injured in that game. He has been cleared to play tonight. Not sure how much he will get in. He's a 6'1", 200-pound junior. We saw him last year, John, run for over 250 yards against Kennedy for City High. And also, Kashawn Walker will be the fullback, 6'1", 210 and a junior. Two terrific wide receivers. Drew Bennis, a junior, 5'10", 165, and Tay Alexander, the 6'3", 175-pound junior. That is the Prairie offense. For the Kennedy Cougars, at left tackle, Lincoln Oltman, 6'4", 270 and a senior. Kendrick Quinn at left guard. He's 220 and a junior. Robert Bernards is the center. He is a 5'11", 230-pound senior. The freshman, yes, freshman, at right guard, Grady Farley, 6'1", 280 and a ninth grader. Believe only 14 years old. But he's going to go at it tonight against Prairie.
Yeah, it looks like he's 28.
Yes, Jacob Solberg, 6'4", 240 and a senior at right tackle. Deacon Kuchera is the tight end. Kennedy's big tight end, 6'4", 220 and a senior. He caught 4 passes for 2 touchdowns last week in the win at Hempstead. Will Woodring is the quarterback. More of a dual threat for Kennedy. 5'11", 190. He is a senior. Terry Boyd, 6'1", 185 and a senior, along with the speedster, the trackster, Dawson Doherty, 5'10", 160 and a senior, and Braden Peck. Those are the wideouts for the Cougars. And the backfield tonight, Louis Smith, 5'10", 180 and a senior, and the fullback is Jack Hayes, 6'1", 200-pound junior. That is the Kennedy starting offense here tonight. As we get closer and closer to kickoff of this one. These two teams have not met in 5 years. They met twice during the COVID year of 2020. Kennedy won on opening week 35-34 and then won 45-0 in the playoff game. Have not played since back on Halloween Eve of 2020. So the last 9 games, Kennedy's won 5, Prairie has won 4. The Cougars have won 3 in a row. Prior to that, Prairie won 3 in a row. As Prairie is out, and now the Cougars coming out of the north end zone as well. And already a little woofing going on out there at the old 50-yard line, John.
Yeah, the Prairie Hawks came out to the 50 and stood there and waited. And then as soon as the Cougars ran through the band's tunnel towards the 50, Prairie turned their backs on everybody. So the fans are getting a little bit of their chirping back and forth across. This is going to be fun, Scott. There's no love lost here.
We got a little intensity going tonight in this particular ball game. We're getting ready for our opening kickoff. And our opening kickoff is brought to you by the House of Iron with their 2 locations, the West Side and in the former World Theater Building, the historic World Theater Building in downtown Cedar Rapids. No matter where you are in your fitness journey, you're welcome at House of Iron at houseofironcr.com. Prairie with their white jerseys tonight, black numerals trimmed in orange, the white helmets with the black and orange stripe. They're going to go with the black pants tonight, and probably not an accident. The Kennedy Cougars are going all black tonight with the gold numerals and the green trim, the green helmets with the Kansas State insignia in gold on those, as the captains are going to make their way out to the 50-yard line. And This one's been anticipated a while, and I think we're going to have a good one tonight. And I think a lot of eyes in the state are watching this.
Well, we've got a lot of fan interest here, I can tell you that. There's a blackout in the Cougar student section, which is very, very strong. And over on the visitor side, it's safety vest night, construction vest night for the Hawks. So both communities coming out in force here tonight. This is the way high school football, all the pageantry, the excitement, the fun, this is what it's all about.
Kennedy last week put up 346 yards of total offense. Prairie went over 400 yards of total offense. And both teams ran it very, very well last week in their particular wins. And it's going to be Prairie winning the toss. They're going to defer, so Kennedy is going to get the ball first here in the ball game tonight. Both teams with big offensive and defensive lines, especially on the offensive side. Going to be a shootout up there, like you mentioned, on your keys to the ball game here tonight. Our first half of action brought to you by Spinal Corrective Center. Doctors Kuhl and Kretzinger. They deliver state-of-the-art chiropractic care for athletes and the entire family. They're online at spinalcc.org or call them at 393-3996 or stop by in the River Ridge Executive Park on the northeast side of Cedar Rapids. Got 4 top 10 matchups tonight in Class 5A. We'll keep our eye on. Valley gets 1-2 for the second straight week. They had Dowling last week. They get Waukee Northwest tonight. You got Liberty at Southeast Polk in the semifinal rematch. You got Johnston at Dowling and Ankeny and Waukee. And this is probably in the top 5 for 5A battles tonight as Prairie and Kennedy will go at it. Cougars will get the ball first. They will drop twins back. Keegan Maston will be on the near side for Kennedy. And it will be on the far side, Lawson Neighbor to return the opening kickoff as Junior Baxa has it teed up. Ironically enough, the junior for Prairie.
No pun intended.
From right to left, and the Hawks and the Cougars are underway. Low line drive kick that will one hop. Picked up by Maston at the 15. Little stutter move, cross the 20, and he'll get out to about the 24-yard line. And that's where Kennedy will put it into play. 1st and 10.
We've already got some chirping going on. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Officials are going to have their work cut out for them tonight, too. Believe that is going to be the case. Both these teams play pretty much the same defenses. That 3-4 look with that hybrid or star. 1st and 10, Kennedy. Will Woodring, the quarterback. He'll send Kuchera, the tight end, flip-flop him from right to left. High snap, Woodring on the quarterback draw up the middle. He's got a good opening. Broke a tackle for it. He's still on his feet, 50. Angling to the near sideline and all the way down to the Prairie 40-yard line before he is stopped from behind by Brady Paterka.
And if you're a defense that doesn't know where the offense's quarterback is at all times, that's the kind of thing that happens.
36-yard pickup. Woodring last week didn't have to run it a whole lot, but he can, as you just heard, put the feet down. He goes for 36. 1st and 10 for Kennedy, just underway. Cougars will send Glaney to the far side. And again, Kuchera will be the stand-up tight end. High snap again, and Woodring, same play, and this time he's going nowhere as he ran into David Faison, who helps up the Kennedy quarterback as he got back to the line of scrimmage.
This is our first look at Faison. We just marveled at him last year, and he's put on some solid muscle this year. He was a tank last year that would bulldoze people. This year, he's just a steamroller, and then some.
Clausen, Klein, Faison up front. Baber, Marks in hand, and Blong, the linebackers for Prairie. 2nd down at 10, one setback. Shotgun off the fake. Woodring going to throw it out to Kuchera in the left flat. Broke a tackle. Gets inside the 35. And down to the 33-yard line. He'll gain 6. And it'll be a 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Kennedy offense.
Nice little slip into the flat there. Kuchera got the ball and had some nice yardage after the reception.
Kennedy bringing in Glady with the play. Out goes Theory Boyd. Big play here early on. 2 minutes into the ball game, no score. Kennedy on the move, though, at the Prairie 33 with the 3rd and 4. It is a full 4. Wide receiver to the left. Full house. 3 backs in the backfield. And they'll give it to the middle man, and busting inside the 30 and for a 1st down was Kuchera. The tight end ran it. How about that?
Yeah, he's also kind of using some fullback methodology here, because on all of those motions that you saw him go in, he would stop somewhere around the guard, and then he would act like a fullback going through like on an ISO block on a linebacker.
Gain of 5 and a 1st down for the Cougars as they move the sticks inside the Prairie 30-yard line. 9:27 to play here in the opening quarter, no score. Wide side of the field to the right. Split backs behind Woodring. He'll get the snap. Play action. Going to loop the right side. Going for a peck and makes the catch, but out of bounds. Caught it beautifully. High pointed it, but caught it out of bounds on the paint on the near sideline.
Tremendous concentration to keep his eye on that ball, go up with both hands and catch it. Just couldn't get a foot down. It was close, though.
Good defense over there by Max Patterson. He, along with Brady Paterka, the 2 corners. Max Schweiger, he's been a 3-year starter for Prairie. His dad, a former Kennedy coach. And Wes Coppas, a junior, 5'11", 190, the strong safety. 2nd down and 10 from the Prairie 28. Ball left hash mark. Off the fake, Woodring again to throw. Going to try the throwback screen. Kuchera couldn't bring it in. And then he got behind the Prairie linebackers that time. Closest guy was Owen Markson, the bandit linebacker, at about the 20-yard line.
Well, that's a tough throw when you do the bootleg out to the wide side of the field and then have to stop, plant your foot, and then throw it all the way back to the opposite sideline. That's a tough throw for any quarterback.
Of course, Brian White's son, BJ, one of the offensive coaches for his dad. 3rd and 10 for the Cougars. From the Hawk 28-yard line. Trip receivers to the right side. Woodring to throw. Deep drop. Going to set up the screen. It's caught, but Prairie read it beautifully. And nothing doing. Big tackle over on the far side by Christ Kelly Nelson, who came in. And that's going to go for a loss of about 5. Try to get it out of there to Smith, and Prairie read it beautifully.
And put him into the turf with emphasis.
Yes, he did. I hope that young man's a wrestler. So that will put Kennedy out of field goal range. And the Cougars will punt it with Garcia. And Prairie with nobody back. They are playing punt safe here. A high end over end punt. Angling to the far side will take a hawk bounce inside the 10. And we'd be touched up at about the 11-yard line. That's going to be a 23-yard punt, but a net of 23. And, well, they bent, but they did not break, the Prairie defense. And the Hawks will have it at the 11-yard line. For Cale Conshog, the quarterback for the Hawks. And it's going to be, starting things off, Colt Hobson, the junior, in the backfield for Prairie. They'll go 2 tight ends. Hand off. Hobson starts right back up the middle and lost the football. Had it knocked away at the 19, and I think Kennedy's got it. And they do. Cougars come up with a football. Jet Owsley, senior, comes up with it on the first play from scrimmage for Prairie.
Nice hole there for Hobson. He had through, in fact, he had all 4 pressure points of the ball covered up, Scott, but when that last hit came in before he went down, that's what popped it loose. That was a fantastic tackle and jarring the ball loose by the Cougars.
They'll have it in the red zone at the Prairie 20-yard line. So the Hawk defense right back out there on the field. No score, 8:12 to play here in the opening quarter from Kingston Stadium. Peck and Boyd, tight left for Kennedy. Smith, the lone back. Kuchera in the slot right. And now we got movement on that right side. And that will back the Cougars up 5.
Yeah, most of the people jumping there were from that tight trips formation.
And it will be now back to the 25-yard line and a 1st and 15 for Kennedy. Here early on, Prairie with the turnover on their first offensive play from scrimmage. Hawks will bring up one of their backers to a 4-man front here on 1st down and 15. Same formation for Kennedy. Woodring off the fake. Back to throw. Guns the middle of the field. That's intercepted. Patterson with the pick at the 10 to the 15. And he'll come back to the 20-yard line. Turnabout's fair play, I guess.
Very well played by Patterson as he went back and had a beat on that line drive from the time it left the quarterback's hand.
So Prairie gets it right back with 8 minutes to play, each team with a turnover. And the Hawks will have it at the 20-yard line after the interception by Max Patterson, the 6'2", 190-pound junior.
My guess is Colt Hobson went right over and gave him a big hug.
1st down, 20-yard line, wide side of the field to the left. Faison, the tight end. He'll flip-flop and go to the right side. Hobson, the lone setback. 6 on the play clock, short drop. Conshock back to throw. Now he's going to tuck it under and run. Won't get much. As Kennedy's terrific middle linebacker, co-captain Henry Wilkes, made the stop at the 22. And it'll be 2nd and 8. Kennedy defensively, they start a sophomore, Zach Stufen, at defensive end, 235. Anthony Keys at nose guard at 295, and Ethan Sloan at 220 at the right side defensive end. 2nd and 8. This time under center, handoff right side, busting through. Hobson gets to the 30 and leans ahead for a 1st down. Jackson Goslin on the stop, and that'll move the sticks after a pickup of 9.
Very similar play right through the A-gap there that Hobson fumbled on the first time, and he got rocked again this time, but not until he picked up some good yardage.
Well, you got a big crowd, and talking to the new manager at Kingston, Aaron Seeley, said that she anticipates this is going to be the biggest crowd Kingston's going to see this year.
Very likely. Good thing they cleared out some parking behind this press box.
Yes, they did. Trip formation on the right side for Prairie on 1st down. They're going to throw it that way. Faison with the catch. Spins away from 1, gets to the 35, and finally brought down. Gang tackled as he gets to the 37-yard line.
Good luck bringing David Faison down. It took about 4 different defenders to finally wrangle him to the turf.
He's got a lot of offers from a lot of Division I schools. Kyle Knox said they're double digits the amount of college offers right now for his Prairie team. And Kennedy's got several as well. So we got a lot of talent on the field here tonight. 2nd down and 5 from the 37-yard line. Here's the counter give to Hobson, and caught in the backfield, and going to lose about a yard. Slow developing play, and Javante Robinson coming up to make the stop for Kennedy from his linebacker spot. 5'11", 205-pound senior.
Prairie's first attempt at a counter of sorts look, that, as you said, very slow developing. Hobson, the tailback, long ways away from the line of scrimmage.
Bunting, Wilkes, Robinson, Maston, the Kennedy linebackers, Ousley, Bobenhagen, Goslin, and Gavin in there in the defensive backfield. 3rd down and 6. Gunshot back to throw. Going to throw the slant. Caught Alexander. Got away to the 40. Angling to the near side and taken down from behind at the 29 with a flag down. And it could be a face mask on Kennedy.
Yeah, the face mask actually happened as the ball was being brought in. Alexander's concentration on that was tremendous, and he caught the ball in stride. So that's why he got so much yardage after the reception. But that face mask is going to be tacked on to it. Really, that was about the only thing that the Cougar defender could have grabbed a hold of, but it's going to cost them.
Yeah, the chain gang already moving down. Personal foul. Face mask against Kennedy. Tay Alexander and Drew Bennis, two guys that played last year for Prairie, both being looked at. Very good basketballers, especially Tay Alexander. He's going to have a choice to make.
Yeah. What a nice problem.
Had a game winner last year as a sophomore on the Prairie basketball team. And this is going to move at half the distance. It's going to be down to the 14-yard line. And Prairie in the Kennedy red zone with 5:20 to play here in the opening quarter from Kingston. Faison will line up tight end left. They'll bring a second tight end in, Bennett Cook, 6'2", 210-pound junior. Two receivers to the right, one lone setback, and this one's going to be blown dead on a false start. I think it was the tailback Hobson that moved.
Whenever I see David Faison lined up as a tight end and he's in tight right next to the tackle, and Prairie is down inside that red zone, you know that they're going to be targeting him.
Yeah.
How many times last year, maybe the last couple of years, Scott, have we seen him score touchdowns from that tight end type position?
Yeah, both Kuchera and Faison. And we've got more movement. Now, who moved first? That's going to be the question. They're going to say Prairie. Back-to-back false starts on the Hawks. So from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20 back on the 24-yard line, which will not make Kyle Knock very happy. Drew Bennis coming in with the play here. Wind has died down a little bit here since we kicked off, as the sun starts to set here over the old gray lady here at Kingston Stadium. First down, 20 at the 24-yard line. Pistol for Konchak. He'll get the snap, rolls to the right, throws in the flat, and the catch made. And coming up with the catch was Cook. And he'll take it, got the penalty yardage back to the 14-yard line. Very high percentage throw that time. And that'll be a gain of 10. Make it a second down and 10 coming up. Wide side of the field to the left. Prairie will go at the two tight end look, both on the right side this time. One setback. Bennis and Alexander split to the left side. Kennedy showing blitz. They'll hand it off to Hobson. Off the right side, cuts it back 10 to the 5, and he's got a 1st and goal. Taken down by Ethan Sloan all the way down at the 3-yard line. Gain of 11 and a 1st and goal for Prairie.
Easy hold run through on the right side of the offensive line for Prairie on that one. All Hobson had to do was to make a jump cut about 5 yards downfield.
And a big hole. 1st down and goal from the 3-yard line. Hobson remains the lone setback. Two tight ends for the Hawks. And another penalty flag. And another Prairie false start.
When you get inside the 5, that's the absolute last thing that you want to do.
Little bit of nerves, perhaps.
Not so sure it's nerves as much as they just want to get off that ball. They're so anxious to make their block and get out underneath the pads that they just...
First and goal back on the 8-yard line. Receivers left and right. They'll run it to Hobson. Kicks it to the outside. Great cut back at the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Great cut by Colt Hobson. The 5'11", 185-pound junior tailback. And the Hawks score first on the 8-yard run to make it 6-0.
Couple of nice changes in direction there that Hobson made to elude the tackles.
Junior Baxa will come in to try the extra point for Prairie. Right-footed kicker. Good snap, placed down. The kick is on its way, and it is good. 7-0 in favor of Cedar Rapids Prairie. 3:06 to play here in our opening quarter from Kingston Stadium. We'll take a break, come back after this here on CRM Live Sports.
End your search for your favorite restaurant in Cedar Rapids. Come to Emil's Hideaway. Emil's is the home for the best tasting American food around. Choose from your favorites: chicken, pasta dishes, pizzas, burgers, and fries. Whether you're bringing the whole family for a meal or wetting your whistle at our fully stocked bar, there's something to satisfy all ages and tastes at our classic American local restaurant. Need catering for your next party or event? Emil's has that too. Call them for details. Emil's Hideaway, open Monday through Saturday at 4 p.m., is right next to Home Depot and across from Lindale Mall on 1st Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. First Federal Credit Union has been helping homeowners for almost a century. Options are crucial when it comes to a first-time home purchase, mortgage refinancing, or a bill consolidation loan. Being able to select the absolute best loan for your situation can literally save you thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or an experienced homeowner, First Federal Credit Union will work to find the solution that is right for you. Learn more at firstfedcu.com. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
7-0 in favor of Prairie. Hawks to kick it off with Boxa, and he'll kick this one to Neighbor at the 10-yard line. Snyder head 15, cuts right 20, and gets to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Bayushimo, the senior, 6 foot, 170-pounder. Got him on special teams after the return of 16. Great to have First Federal Credit Union as one of our sponsors back, as I mentioned earlier on. So Prairie takes advantage of the Kennedy turnover after Prairie turned it over deep in their own territory. Cougars down 7-0 with the football at the 26-yard line. Ball middle of the field, turn, handoff, second back in there. Smith trying to get to the outside, corralled and brought down for a loss of a couple. Finally stepping in there, Matt Blong, one of the linebackers, the weak side linebacker, 6'1", 225-pounder, who finally got him.
Going to be a loss of a couple there on first down.
So Kennedy behind the chains here with 2.5 to play here in quarter number 1.
Man, these two teams are playing physical right now. The pads are popping.
Second down and 12 on the quick hitter inside. Nothing doing, and then trying to kick it back to the outside, giving up yardage. And going down was the Kennedy fullback, Jack Hayes. And he's going to lose 3 more.
They had, defensively, Prairie had 6 guys inside the box with 2 inside linebackers right over the center. Man, you don't see that much anymore. That's an odd alignment, but it worked.
Third down and 15. Cougars will go with trip receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 1 set back. Here comes a blitz. Woodring to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Going to have to run. Coming down the near sideline. And it'll be pushed out of bounds. Shy of the first down. Tanner Carroll, another junior. Backup linebacker, 6 foot, 190-pounder, made the stop. But Kennedy is going to have a 3 and out.
Going to be about 4 yards shy here. So that's got to bring the punt team in.
Woodring went for 11, but did not get that first down. And Garcia to punt it away. Gets a good snap into it. High, lazy kick. Short, running up, making the catch of the 45-yard line. And getting to the 50-yard line and into Kennedy territory was Keandre Bush. The 5'7", 150-pound backup wide receiver. So excellent field position for the Hawks at the Kennedy 49. With minute 21 to play here in the opening quarter, and Prairie up 7-0.
Few mental errors here so far in this first quarter, but I'll tell you what, the effort is there. My gosh, these guys are coming at each other 110%.
Bush will stay in the ball game. He'll flank out to the right side. And they'll turn and hand it off. And this time running the ball, Dane May. And he'll get it to the 42-yard line. There's a bevy of runners for the Hawks.
And one that's not dressed up over there, but he wishes he were, that showed signs of brilliance last year. He'll be back very soon, however. That'd be B.J. Bush.
Yeah, I believe next week. Going to try to come back. 2nd down and 3 from the 42-yard line. Wide side of the field to the left. Pistol for Konchak. He's back to throw. Has time, throws deep middle, incomplete, but there was contact and penalty flags all over.
Boy, that was not going to be a catchable ball either. And that was a haymaker that was thrown.
Officials had no other choice but to call that.
There's no question. I mean, he just darn near wound up and popped him.
So we've seen penalties on both sides of the football here, and that's going to give Prairie a free 15 and a 1st down. And that will put it down to the 27-yard line in Kennedy territory.
Second big physical blunder by the Cougar secondary here. The last 2 possessions.
Prairie scored on their last offensive possession. And see what they can do here. 1st and 10 at the Cougar 27-yard line. Kennedy showing blitz. Konchak back to throw. Throws. Faison get the catch of the 15 to the 10. Still on his feet inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. So many weapons on this Prairie team.
Faison just lined up in that tight trips formation off to the left-hand side. And the 2 speedsters that were with him, they drew everybody downfield. That left Faison free underneath the coverage.
1st and goal for the Prairie Hawks. They do not have to run a play here before the end of the 1st quarter. We shall see if they will. Made the lone setback, and he'll get it. Coming to the left side, and he carries Cougars across the line in for a touchdown. And Prairie on top 13-0.
Dane May takes it in for the 2nd Prairie score of the night.
At least we believe it's May.
M-A-I, I would say it's May.
So 3 seconds to play here in the 1st quarter clock, and Junior Baxa back in to try the extra point. Good snap. Here's the kick. Low line driver. It is good. 14-0 Prairie here, as we'll keep it for the kickoff with 3 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. And right now, Prairie is winning the battles in the trenches at this point.
No doubt about that.
And they're moving people. 1 minute, 18-second drive that took that went 49 yards.
So that physicality has been on display and impressive, as you mentioned, Scott. But how about the play calling and all the different formations that we've seen from Prairie? My goodness, they're throwing everything in terms of placing their skill people in places that maybe you're not thinking, what's he doing over there? Or what are those 3 guys doing all bunched up right there?
And
it's a chess game.
like we said, there's so many folks that can run the ball for Prairie, catch the ball for the Hawks.
Yeah, we have yet to see Dawson call.
Might not have to. Baxa to kick it away from right to left here, as this kickoff more than likely will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. On almost a full moon night here at Kingston. Line drive kick, Neighbor with a catch of the 6, angling right to the 10, 15, and hit, brought down as he crosses the 20 to the 23-yard line. And that is indeed the end of the 1st quarter of play. After 1, number 9, Cedar Rapids Prairie 14, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 0. We'll come back with quarter number 2 from Kingston Stadium after this here on CRM Live Sports.
Hills Bank is your hometown financial champion, here to help you score some wins. Because at Hills Bank, managing your money is easy. They've got 19 local branches across the corridor, 40,000 surcharge-free ATMs around the country, and online account access at any time. Whether you're a student athlete or a super fan, Hills Bank helps you get in the game. Hills Bank, where it's easy to connect with a banker over the phone or on hillsbank.com, because we believe banking is better through human connection. Hills Bank is an equal housing lender and FDIC member. Looking for the best in commercial and residential flooring? At Schumacher Carpets and More, it's the little things that count. Family owned since 1987, the professionals at Schumacher have what you're looking for. Whether it is carpet, luxury vinyl plank, ceramic, laminate, or wood, their personal service and quality products set Schumacher apart in the flooring industry. Famous for a relaxed and pressure-free shopping experience, let the experts at Schumacher Carpets and More break down your options with just a simple conversation. Call, visit, or request an online quote from their website today.
We start the second quarter. Cougars with the ball. They'll throw the quick out to Terry Boyd and hit in the backfield, trying to get away, and did get a couple. He was surrounded by several Prairie Hawks before Owen Markson finally brought him down. Kennedy trying to get to the outside. You can see that. But Prairie's doing a good job of pursuit here.
On first down, that's a good changeup from the traditional playing calling that they have done to this point. I like that call, even though it only picked up a couple.
Give you the first quarter stats coming up in a moment. It will be second down and 8. Kuchera, the tight end, will come to the left side. High snap. Woodring had to one-hand it, bring it down, and he'll go off the left side for maybe a yard or two. And that is it.
Good chance that that high snap busted that play up. It looked like Woodring had only one thing to do, and that was try and stick his helmet and shoulder pads out in front of his body and try and get something.
First quarter total yards, Kennedy with 48 and Prairie with 112. Kennedy 1 out of 3 on third downs. They have one right here at third down and 6 at their own 20, just shy of the 28. Peck coming out in motion to the left. One setback, shotgun look here for Woodring. He gets a snap. He'll spin to the right, looking back to the left. There's that throwback and almost intercepted. That was Markson again that came flying in there. They tried to go to that same play, that throwback screen to Kuchera.
And think how hard that is for the quarterback when he's running to his right to stop, plant, and try and throw all the way back to the opposite sideline. That's just a very difficult mechanical throw. The human body isn't basically built to do that in a hurry.
Cougars will have to punt it again. Garcia will kick it away. A floating short kick again. Will take a big Kennedy bounce, though, inside the 40 and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 37-yard, no return. And again, Prairie will have the ball and already up by 2 touchdowns.
Garcia has an interesting way of punting, doesn't he, Scott? He doesn't even take a step. He just gets the ball and then boom, he kicks it. It's not that he's trying to get a lot of distance or height necessarily on it. He just wants to pooch it down there so nobody can catch it and then get a big bounce and a roll.
14-0 in favor of Prairie, as the Hawks will have a 1st and 10 from the 36. Straight ahead handoff. Hobson back in there. Drags a couple of Cougars to the 40-yard line. And they'll give him the 41 for a gain of 5. As this Prairie team just keeps coming at you with different folks, different looks. Very impressive so far. And they have not given up a point yet this year.
And there's no tricky blocking schemes here. It's straight ahead, put a hat on a hat, get underneath pads and push people back by keeping your feet moving.
That's the recipe. Second down and 5. Kennedy with a 3-man front, off the fake. Conshog back to throw, into the flat, catch made, and right there, the Kennedy defense to get Keyshawn Walker coming out of the backfield. Whole bunch of black shirts there for Kennedy, led by Colton Klein, 6 foot, 205-pound senior. Going to be a loss of a couple. Conshog's 5 for 5 so far. That's an old Kennedy play right there. Slipping that fullback out of the backfield like that. That goes back to the Tim Lewis days.
And it was read very well.
14-0 Prairie, 8:50 clock rolling first half. 3rd down 7 for the Hawks on their own 39-yard line. Shotgun snap, blitz coming. Conchong is sacked. Klein got him again. Brian White called up a blitz that time.
Boy, and he was untouched. There wasn't a white jersey anywhere near that blitz.
And that's going to be a big loss.
And it came from the outside in. It didn't come up the middle.
Of 13 yards, and Prairie will have their first 3 and out of the night. David Faison, he also punts. And he'll get this way to at the 25-yard line. Kennedy's got Twins back at the 35-yard line. High snap. Faison brings it down. Low end over end kick. Will take a big Prairie hop, though. It's going to take a 30-yard roll all the way down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
And Faison's very happy about that because, to be honest, Scott, I don't think he got his foot into half of that ball when he kicked it.
56-yard punt.
Came off the side of his foot.
And that will, Kennedy thought they were going to have pretty good field position. Didn't turn out that way.
So their first punt of the night. Courtesy of all that rolling around there. Took Kennedy back inside their 20.
Yeah, back to their 18-yard line. So it'll be first down for the Cougars. They'll send Boyd in motion to the right. And here is the toss. Trying to get to the corner that time is Smith. Flag down, and Smith close to first down yardage, but they threw it in the general vicinity of holding, and that's what it's going to be. 4th Kennedy penalty to go with 3 for Prairie here in the first half. Just Cougars cannot get out of their own way right now.
No, they're certainly not approaching what we like to say is staying ahead of the chains here, leaving themselves a lot to be desired, especially on 3rd down.
Very true. So it's going to be a first down and just shy of 20. That penalty will take Kennedy back to the just outside the 10-yard line. Peck, along with Boyd, will line up on the left side. One setback, and they'll send Boyd in motion to the right. On first down, Woodring to hand it off, and Smith is pounded. He got held up. The first guy to get it was Tanner Carroll. Turned away from that, and David Faison laid the wood.
Yeah, Prairie's defense was on that so quickly that he was lucky to get the handoff, Scott.
Wow.
That's how quickly the defense was in there. They met him at the handoff.
2nd down and a whole bunch for Kennedy. Should be, or is it 3rd down? I think it should be 3rd. Well, no, it is 2nd. They will toss it. Here comes Smith. Couple blockers in front, trying to get to the corner. Nah, didn't get there. Gonna get about 2 to the 7-yard line. Faison and Schweiger there for the Prairie defense.
Prairie's pursuit is so quick, and they're so physical. They have so many bodies wrapping up the ball carrier on each of these rushing plays that, oh boy, I'm not sure exactly what the schemes that Kennedy's going to employ against that are.
Now it's 3rd down and a bunch. 3rd and 21. Kennedy needs to get to the 29-yard line. 7 on the play clock. High snap. Woodring will throw it in the flat. Catch made in traffic, and this is only going to go for about 4 across the 10. They got it to Neighbor. Lawson Neighbor, the junior. Just give Garcia a little bit more room to punt it away. As Neighbor will set Kennedy up at the 13-yard line. And another 3 and out for the Cougars. And the 4th punt of the evening. Garcia gets it away. End over end, little better kick. Catch made. Bennis coming left. 40, 35. Got a block and then got tripped up, and a flag is down at the 30. This one might come back. as Drew Bennis. That looked like the old Xavier return right there.
It wasn't quite a wall, but it sure ended up looking like it.
Punt went for 31 yards. And
Sure looked like he was going to run down the Hawk sideline and take it to the house, but that flag came in almost as though the official was mad to throw it.
See what the signal will be here with 5:21 to play in our first half. And it's going to be a block in the back against Prairie. So that will be from the spot of the foul. And Hawks probably have it at about the 41-yard line. And that is the case.
Done a little math in your time, haven't you?
I've done a little. Just a little. Prairie with the 2-score lead so far. Hawks have dominated this game, this first half. 1st and 10, Conshog in the shotgun. Gets a snap, he's back to throw. Hit as he throws a middle field, intercepted. Threw it late, Cougars got it. As coming up with the pick was Gavin Grant. And he'll return it to the 35-yard line.
Perfectly played by Grant. No separation whatsoever, except that he was in front of the receiver, and when that ball came, it was just an easy pickings.
Played it beautifully, and Kennedy gets it back after the second Prairie turnover of the night. At the 35-yard line. The Kennedy pressure set that up.
And tight man-to-man coverage.
So it'll be first down Kennedy. Offense right back out there from the far hash mark. Toss to Smith trying to get to the corner. Prairie doing a good job of stretching it out, but Smith turned it across the 40 and brought down by Owen Markson as he gets to the 42, maybe the 43-yard line for a gain of 8.
About the only place they've really made a living rushing the ball here is outside the tackles this first half. Prairie's got that inner tackle, nose tackle so gummed up in there that you've either got to throw or you got to try and run around it at this point.
We got your Bidmitter Sportswear halftime show coming up at the break here. 2nd down and 2. Boyd in motion from left to right. They'll run it behind him. The toss sweep. Crossing the 45. First down for Smith. Pushing his way into Prairie territory. And he gets down to the Hawk 49-yard line for a gain of 8 and a Kennedy first down. 2 straight gains of 8 on the little toss. And it'll be the Cougars in Prairie territory as Faison coming back into the ball game for the Hawks.
Tell you what it looks like just formation-wise that Prairie's doing, Scott, is it looks like they're using what Dan Sabers used to call the spy linebacker. Yep. I'll talk about that in a minute.
5-man front this time for Prairie. Here's another toss. New back in there, and that time it was Keegan Maston. Going to get a couple as he gets to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, this idea here is that you put, instead of 2 inner linebackers, you put a third one that's just in the middle of the 2, and it's kind of a triangle formation back there. And that triangle guy is called the spy, and he goes for whoever you want to just put him on. Most of the time, it's the tailback.
I remember that Dan Sabers ploy. 2nd and 8 from the Hawk 47, 14-0 Prairie. Fake toss, inside handoff to Maston. He's got a hold of the 40, coming near side and out of bounds as he'll take it down to the 35-yard line and a gain of 12.
And there was the first nice counter call by Kennedy's offense there. And with all that full flow just going on initial reads, this Prairie defense is so tuned into watching full flow right now that the counter picked up that first down. And that's going to stop them a little bit. It's going to slow down their initial step defensively. That's a great call by Kennedy.
Cougars 2 tight ends this time. They're going with the power look. Off the fake, Woodring back to throw. Steps up in the pocket, going to have to run. Coming to the near side of the 30 and goes out of bounds to avoid the hit from Brady Paterka at the 28-yard line.
That was a pass play, though. They had Theory Boyd on the home run route, and then they had Kuchera coming across on a slant, but both of them were blanket coverage again.
Luke McAleese, the backup tight end, 6'3", 195 junior. He was in there. 2nd down and 3. Stops the clock, 3:04 to play here in the first half. 14-0, number 9 Prairie. Again, Cougars will go with the tight end right. Boyd in motion that way. Woodring with the straight ahead handoff to Smith. Pops the middle and then lost the football. Loose at the 25. And who's got it?
Yeah, it was all over the ground there. Several people thought they had it and they didn't.
Kennedy got it back.
Is it a first down?
Just about a half, maybe a football length. Well, I think they gave it to him. They gave him a very nice spot.
That was a generous spot. And I think it's a first down.
Should be if it's on the yard line.
Yeah, they don't need to measure that. Well, then now they're going to.
Brian White says, hey, you don't need to measure that. I'm putting a first down.
Yeah, they're going ahead.
All right, now we got it. 1st and 10. 2:26 clock running here in the first half. 14-0 Prairie. Cougars bring in Glady out to the far right side. Again, tight eye formation. Here is the toss. Neighbor coming to the right side. Got hit. Stood up by Schweiger. And then the rest of the Hawks came in there. The 6'1", 180-pound safety. And that'll be a gain of a couple. And we're going to get a timeout called by the Cougars. Timeout taken here by Kennedy with 1:57 to play in the opening half. Down 14-0. Back after this here on CRM Live Sports.
Epiphany Dermatology is a full-service dermatology practice that treats all conditions of the skin, hair, and nails. Dr. John Woolner has been practicing and treating patients for over 30 years. Epiphany Dermatology has built a reputation based on reliable customer service and quality skin and hair loss treatments. Epiphany Dermatology also places a special emphasis on skin cancer prevention, screenings, and treatment. Call them to book an appointment at 363-9936 and visit their website at epiphanydermatology.com. Epiphany Dermatology, 5264 Council Street Northeast, Suite 700 in Cedar Rapids. At Hunt Graphic Innovations, it's the personal touch that counts. If you're serious about creating an eye-catching website or need assistance in graphic design for print, newsletters, posters, signs, or banners, Hunt Graphic Innovations has the experience to help get the job done. With personal attention and competitive pricing, discover the difference Hunt Graphic Innovations can make for you.
Back with you here at Kingston Stadium. Kennedy after the timeout, a 2nd and 9. From the right hash mark at the Prairie 24-yard line. Woodring to throw. Deep drop under pressure. Retreating and down he goes.
Guess who?
David Faison, the closing speed, John.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That is highlight reel stuff. That right there on his highlight reel is going to make people who were doubters say, we got to try and get this guy.
First sack, a loss of 16.
That was unbelievable speed from Faison.
3rd down and a country mile here for Kennedy. They need to get to the 15-yard line from the 40. 5 in the play clock, 1:15 first half. High snap, Woodring to throw. Now steps up, he's going to run, and he had a ball stripped away. Loose picked up on the run by the Hawks. To the 50-yard line, and to the Kennedy 45 goes Matt Blong.
Guess who made the tackle and stripped the ball?
0.
Yep, number 0, David Faison. He's just taking over this game right now defensively.
And Prairie will have 62 seconds and 3 timeouts. And that thwarted what was a pretty good-looking Kennedy drive. Hawks will have it at the 46.
Is that the only time that Kennedy has gotten into Prairie territory this half?
No, they had it off the
Oh,
bubble.
that's right, early on.
Yep. 14-0 in favor of Prairie. 2 tight end look for the Hawks. Conshog in the pistol formation, looking to throw. Going to throw the slant. Deep slant, caught 35 to Alexander. And thrown down as he gets to the 28-yard line for a pickup of 18.
Nice throw by Conshog. Hit his receiver in stride coming across the middle. Deep pass was a rope.
And there's the first incompletion as he'll spike it. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
That shouldn't count, should it?
All counts. All counts. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Still 49 seconds to go. And we'll get to the Ben Ritter Sportswear halftime show. Take a look at scores around the state and around eastern Iowa. Here tonight in the Week 2 Friday night. Left hip goes Hobson. Back to throw. Conshog under pressure. He had it stripped. Loose, and Kennedy's got it back. Ethan Sloan comes up with the football.
Yep, pocket collapsed around him. And then the big bear hug and a strip on that, and the ball popped right down on the ground straight below all the tacklers.
43 seconds to play, and we've had 5 turnovers in the first half.
3 of them for Prairie.
Now we'll see what Kennedy elects to do here from the 35-yard line, their own 35, with 2 timeouts and 43 seconds to go. First and 10, Cougars. They'll put trip receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Woodring in the gun with 1 setback. Shotgun, going to throw it out. Neighbor with the catch. Got a stock block. Turn it up the numbers. 40, 45, and out of bounds. Nearing midfield. They'll give him midfield on a gain of 15. His 2nd catch of the night. And it'll be 1st down. And he did get out of bounds as well. Stop the clock with 36.9 to play here in the half. Again, 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Long count, shotgun, Woodring to throw, looks left, now looking right, now scrambling. Penalty flag is down. This is going to be a hold on Kennedy. Throw upfield, catch made by Peck, and then he gets walloped and bulldogged at the 37-yard line.
Kennedy fans aren't happy. They think that a flag should have come down for a horse collar, but it wasn't a horse collar.
It was just a high tackle, it looked like.
He grabbed some cloth a little bit, and it was on the far side of the field, and it snapped his head back a little too, but it was not a horse collar.
It's going to be a hold on Kennedy. They held Romeo Klein, who was chasing Woodring.
Oh, and he was a good 7 yards back when that flag was thrown at his feet, so take another 10 beyond that. Except they didn't mark that off that way.
I wonder if
Must have been 2 flags.
Could have been. 1st and 20 back at the 40, and clock is running, and Kennedy is not stopping it. I smell a screen here. 12 seconds to play in the first half, and now Prairie is going to use their timeout. Kyle Knox says, I will call one with 11.4 to play before halftime. We'll take a quick break and come back to Kingston after this here on CRM Live Sports.
In your search to locate a good old-fashioned family-owned pizza joint, skip the run-of-the-mill franchise options and head to Roscoe's Pizza on Edgewood Road behind Taco John's. At Roscoe's, the Hunt family is dedicated to providing mouth-watering pizza prepared from the freshest ingredients available. Choose from our 4 delicious styles of crusts, then add your favorite toppings to create your own personal pizza delight. Need a quick lunchtime alternative? Take advantage of Roscoe's Fast and Go noontime specials. And yes, they even offer gluten-free options. For the tastiest local experience, give the professionals at Roscoe's Pizza a call and surprise your family with a one-of-a-kind eating experience today.
Well, a little confusion going on the field right now because it looked like Prairie called a timeout, and I think they are calling a timeout.
They're being charged with one. Whether they called it or not, I don't know, because Mo Blue, the defensive coordinator, came out and was pretty hot. He came out onto the field so far, he was beyond the numbers on the side. And as you say, a lot of confusion. There was no signal from the officials.
Well, we may have had I think I know what the delay is here. And
We did have an injured player for Prairie that did come out of the game without his helmet.
That was Nelson. And I think the reason he came out is because they are clean up on aisle 3 at the 41-yard line, unfortunately. They got her taken care of.
We'll let you imagine for yourself so what that particular visual might come.
If you know football, you know it happened. Not the first time, not the last time it will happen.
And chances are, after halftime, Mr. Nelson will be just fine and be right back out there.
And they're going to let the first half clock expire, and we are at halftime. 14-0, Cedar Rapids Prairie on top over Cedar Rapids Kennedy here at Kingston Stadium in this Week 2 Friday night affair. And we'll come back and talk things over on the Bim Ritter Sportswear halftime show from Kingston right after this, as you're listening to high school football here on CRM Live Sports.
In your search for a cozy, one-of-a-kind meal, make plans to visit Cava House Cafe in downtown Swisher. Stop in for breakfast and lunch at Cava. Mornings, try one of their homemade pastries, fresh scones, cinnamon rolls, muffins, coffee cake, or have a serving of hot breakfast casserole. The lunch menu includes a variety of hearty and hot cold sandwiches. The Texas smoked brisket is a fan favorite, or try one of their fresh, never frozen Angus beef burgers. And no meal is complete without a dessert from Cava's Pastry Cabinet. Their signature black bottom cake and carrot cake are worth every calorie. And top it off with a scoop of Dan and Debbie's ice cream. One visit for Sunday brunch and you'll be hooked. And be sure to check out Cava's gift shop for unique candles and gifts. Customers all say when you walk in the door, you feel like you've stepped into a Hallmark movie. Come share a random moment at Cava House Cafe in downtown Swisher. Whether you need long-term care or short-term rehabilitation for your elder, one visit to Westridge Care Center and you'll see what has made them one of the finest nursing care facilities in the area since 1992. At Westridge Care Center, our number one priority is to make all loved ones in our care safe and healthy. Westridge Care Center implements the Eden philosophy to reflect an environment of living as a habitat for humans instead of a place of frailty and waiting. Call 390-3367 to arrange a tour of their privately owned single-entity facility with private rooms with all the amenities. Westridge Care Center, 3131 F Avenue Northwest, Cedar Rapids, and online at westridgecarecenter.com. American Family Insurance agent Kurt Gustafson is committed to inspiring and protecting dreams right here in Cedar Rapids and the surrounding area. He starts by getting to know you and your needs and build a free auto, home, or life insurance quote. By bundling policies, we can often offer a variety of discounts. Whether you're purchasing a car, buying property, managing an investment property, starting a small business, or leaving behind a legacy, we've got your back as you pursue your dreams, and we'll help protect them. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. See Kurt Gustafson Agency of American Family Insurance on Johnson Avenue Southwest, right across from the Johnson Avenue Hy-Vee for more details. Bim Ritter Sportswear in Cedar Rapids is your complete apparel and headwear provider. Bim Ritter is your one-stop store for screen print and embroidery for polos, t-shirts, hats, and more for any age from newborn to adults. Need screen printing or embroidery for your company or a special event? Bim Ritter is the answer, as they work with local teams, clubs, organizations, and businesses from startup to finish to provide the look that you need with exceptional turnaround time. Bim Ritter is also the local apparel supplier for the Cedar Rapids Colonels and Rough Riders. Bim Ritter Sportswear, 817 2nd Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. Call them at 364-3479 and visit them online at bimritter.com.
Back with you here at Kingston Stadium at halftime. Cedar Rapids Prairie 14, Cedar Rapids Kennedy nothing. As the Kennedy Marching Band taking the field here. Big thanks to Bim Ritter Sportswear at 817 2nd Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids and online at bimritter.com for being our halftime sponsor again this year. Big thanks to Gary Ficken, even though I'm playing him in fantasy football this week and want to win. But we thank Bim Ritter Sportswear for everything they do for us. Need screen printing or embroidery for your company or special event? See Bim Ritter Sportswear or call them at 364-3479. Hard-hitting first half. We've had 5 turnovers. Prairie's had the 2 scoring drives, though. That came late in the first quarter on both of those. And Hawks lead at 14-0. the defense right now at times has been the dominating force in this first half for Prairie.
Yeah, they have played fast, and they have flown to the ball. Does that sound like anything you heard Kyle Knock tell you in his pregame remarks?
Absolutely.
Message received by his players.
Yeah, and at times, especially midway through that second quarter, Kennedy started to put something together. A lot of counter looks for the Cougars to try to offset Prairie coming hard after the football.
And getting the ball out in space for some one-on-one matchups. That's been a very good second quarter transition for them. But, yeah, to your point, they have had almost no success running between the tackles straight ahead. It's just that's not there. Prairie's taken it completely away from them.
Let's take a look at the first half numbers here. First of all, scoring-wise, Prairie led it 14-0 after the first quarter. Scoring first on a Colt Hobson 8-yard run after a Prairie interception. Hawks went 80 yards in 4 minutes and 54 seconds. Hobson's touchdown run, Junior Box's extra point, made it 7-0. Hawks got it back after a Kennedy 3-and-out, and then it was the backup tailback, Dane May, going in from 3 yards out, and that made it 14-0 at that point. And that's our scoring in the first half of play. It's awful loud down there.
I think the Kennedy band is using some amplification.
Holy cow.
And we're talking electric guitars, too.
Yes. All right.
Bands have evolved, Scott.
They have. Indeed. Total yardage in the first half, 130 yards for Cedar Rapids Prairie in the first half, 98 for the Kennedy Cougars. Prairie 90 through the air, 40 on the ground, as the quarterback Cale Conshog 6 of 7 for 90 yards in the first half. Faison has caught 2, Tay Alexander has caught 2, and Cook and Walker each with a catch. On the ground, Colt Hobson leading the way, 6 carries, 41 yards and a touchdown. May has carried it 2 times for 10 yards and a touchdown. 6 first downs for Prairie in the first half, 4 penalties for a total of 25 yards for the Hawks. For Kennedy, 98 total yards, most on the ground, 76 on the ground, 22 through the air. Will Woodring in the first half, 5 of 9 throwing for 22 yards. Neighbor has caught 2, and Kuchera, Boyd, and Smith all with a catch. And on the ground, Woodring leading the way with 7 carries for 43 yards. Smith has carried it 6 times for 15 yards. Maston twice for 14 yards. Kennedy also with 6 first downs, 5 penalties for the Cougars, and they've been penalized for 44 yards. 2 sacks for Kennedy, 1 for Prairie. Prairie has turned it over 3 times, and Kennedy has turned it over twice so far. Cougars 1 out of 6 on third down tries. Prairie is 1 out of 2, and Kennedy with the big edge in time of possession, 14:45 to 9:15.
Feels like it.
For Prairie in that first half of play. So those are your halftime stats here on the Bim Ritter Sportswear halftime show. And it looked for a while like Prairie had a chance to maybe put this one away in the first half, but credit Kennedy for staying in this, and this is still a ball game at the halftime break.
And with that being said, the line play has been a decided advantage for Prairie. And a lot of times we've seen in the past teams that will come out and are pretty evenly matched in the first half, and then one line will kind of take and assert themselves and wear down the other. Prairie's hoping that's what their line will do. Kennedy's saying, that's not going to happen. I'm sure those line coaches are in there right now talking about how they're going to make their own personal strategies work.
Kennedy band making their way off the field here. 14-0 here at the break. Let's take a look at some of the other scores on the Emils Hideaway out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by Emils Hideaway on 1st Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. Right across from the Lindale Mall, open Monday through Saturday at 4 o'clock. Bring in the whole family for a meal or wet your whistle at their fully stocked bar. They're online at emilshideaway.com. Late in the second quarter, Mount Vernon 23-0 over Benton Community over at Mount Vernon. The new home of KJ Pilcher, apparently, by the way, was at Cornell at Ash Park last night and makes his way to the new Mount Vernon
Those
facility.
two teams played a pretty tight game last year, if I remember right.
Halftime. Xavier 7-0 over Western Dubuque.
Well, that's one of those old rivalries. It's an emotional game for both sides.
And Western Dubuque, if they lose tonight, could be the best 0-2 team in the state, losing to Dubuque, Waller, and Xavier.
Waller last week. That's right.
In the first
defending
two.
champions.
How about this? At second quarter, Waterloo West leading Dubuque Senior 13-0. And Waterloo West throttled Waterloo East last week. Also, let's see. We can get some other scores here. We are actually we've had games in the past, John. We haven't even kicked off at 3-4 minutes past 8 o'clock.
You're exactly right.
I kind of digging these 7 o'clock starts.
Well, we had one last Friday, didn't kick off till 8:30, wasn't it?
True. Well, the team we'll see next Friday. Davenport North, Clear Creek Amana leading the Wildcats 22-0 in the second quarter. Halftime, Regina leading West Branch 14-0. Let's see. We get some other scores here on our Emil's Hideaway out-of-town scoreboard. Told you 23-0. Pella in the second quarter, just ahead of halftime, 3-0 over Waverly Shell Rock. So Pella's got to go to Waverly this week, and then they go to North Scott next week. So they're making the rounds of Eastern Iowa. Burlington leading Oski 20-7. That is a second quarter score. Marshalltown in the first quarter over Waterloo East by a score of 17-6. And holy cow, how about this? Just ahead of halftime, Iowa City Liberty 17, Southeast Polk nothing.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Now, keep in mind, Liberty had a lead last year in the semifinal.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, that Southeast Polk started last year very slow, too. In fact, Southeast Polk lost to this Prairie bunch last year.
Yes, they did.
At John Wall Field.
Yes, they did. And so if that holds, that's going to be one that's going to get a lot of eyebrows raised. Second quarter, Centennial leading Linmar 28-0. And Centennial lost their opener last week to one of the suburban teams. And
that's an angry bunch of Jaguars.
yeah, they are. And man, Linmar, that would be back-to-back shutouts. And doesn't get any easier for the Lions, I know, in the next 2 weeks. We got them against Kennedy over at Linmar Stadium in 2 weeks. 2 for next week. We'll be back out here at Kingston on Thursday night. Wash will try to bounce back after last night's loss to North Scott, as they will take on the Clinton River Kings next Thursday night. And then next Friday night, we got to go to Marion for the first time in a couple years.
Yes.
Seeing the Wolves.
Beautiful new stadium.
And
they're still breaking in.
Yep, Davenport North and Marion next Friday night.
That should be a lot of fun because the Wolves, I've always said that one of my favorite places to go just to watch the community support their team is Marion High School. It's just fun. They know how to have a good time, and it's just good old-fashioned high school football, and the fans, the families, they just know how to have a great time there at football, Marion.
So we'll be out at Marion coming up next week. Looking forward to that. And in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, the Chargers leading the Chiefs 10-3. We're hoping for better things.
Shall I rub your pullover that you're sporting tonight?
I think everybody knows I'm a diehard Chiefs fan.
And you know what? There's a lot of people that aren't diehard Chiefs fans that still like the Chiefs.
Well,
it's bandwagon time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there are a lot of people that don't like the Chiefs because of that second reason you just gave.
And all those diehard Chief fans love that.
It's entirely different than it was during the Marv Levy era. 14-0 here in favor of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Both teams back out of their tunnels as we get ready for our second half here from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. And we'll come back, get you ready for half number 2 after this here on CRM Live Sports.
Carpenters Local 308 in Cedar Rapids is a member of the North Central States Regional Council of Carpenters, representing nearly 27,000 members and their families in the upper Midwest. The union is dedicated to protecting and elevating the economic and social conditions of all workers and to provide our industry with the best trained, most productive, and safest workforce available. Carpenters Local 308 is always looking for new workers to join their ranks. Apprenticeship classes and training are available for you to become a skilled worker for your career. More information on Carpenters Local 308 is available at carpenterslocal308.org. Your search for healthy fast casual in the downtown is over. Whether it's a quick bite you're looking for or a freshly made smoothie, Stack Wellness Cafe has expanded healthy eating in downtown Cedar Rapids. Business professionals as well as gym goers are singing the praises of our freshly made wraps and breakfast bowls, while the smoothie lover can choose from a variety of nutritious fruit and protein options, including your choice of adding the newest frontline supplements. For a fast, healthy, and convenient downtown option, look no further than Stack Wellness Cafe. Bim Ritter Sportswear in Cedar Rapids is your complete apparel and headwear provider. Bim Ritter is your one-stop store for screen print and embroidery for polos, t-shirts, hats, and more for any age from newborn to adults. Need screen printing or embroidery for your company or a special event? Bim Ritter is the answer, as they work with local teams, clubs, organizations, and businesses from startup to finish to provide the look that you need with exceptional turnaround time. Bim Ritter is also the local apparel supplier for the Cedar Rapids Colonels and Rough Riders. Bim Ritter Sportswear, 817 2nd Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. Call them at 364-3479 and visit them online at bimritter.com. Epiphany Dermatology is a full-service dermatology practice that treats all conditions of the skin, hair, and nails. Dr. John Woolner has been practicing and treating patients for over 30 years. Epiphany Dermatology has built a reputation based on reliable customer service and quality skin and hair loss treatments. Epiphany Dermatology also places a special emphasis on skin cancer prevention, screenings, and treatment. Call them to book an appointment at 363-9936 and visit their website at epiphanydermatology.com. Epiphany Dermatology, 5264 Council Street Northeast, Suite 700 in Cedar Rapids.
Epiphany Dermatology brings you our second half. Dr. John Woolner with over 30 years of experience. Find him at Epiphany Dermatology at 5264 Council Street Northeast or call 363-9936. Thank you to Doc Woolner.
Wednesday afternoon, I'll be seeing Doc, my yearly skin check.
Tell him hi.
Will do.
Kennedy to kick off. Prairie's going to get the ball to start the second half of this emotional rivalry game here, and
flip-flop.
each team lined up on the wrong end. I've not seen that one.
Chinese fire drill.
So we've got wind a little still coming from the west-northwest at about 5 to 10. So kind of coming across the field right now. Prairie 14-0 as we get ready to start our second half of action here from Kingston Stadium. Hawks will send Drew Bennis on the far side at the 7-yard line along with Keandre Bush on the near side. BJ Bush still out. He's, believe, back next week for Prairie.
I count 10 Prairie Hawks in street clothes.
Squib kick taken by one of the upbacks at the 25-yard line, and picking it up on a hop and getting across the 35 to the 37-yard line was Jaden Stump. Young man Hawks really like. Only a sophomore, 6'2", 190, a terrific all-around athlete. So first and 10, Hawks, 37-yard line for Kale Conshog and the offense. Colt Hobson, the junior back, will come out for Prairie. And Hawks will put their two tight ends in the backfield here. They're going to put a wall of three in front of Conshog, and he'll get it and lost the handle. Hobson did. They actually tried the wildcat there, John.
Mm-hmm.
And Hobson had to fall on it. It's going to be a loss back to the 33.
10 guys bunched up offensively, just blocking straight ahead. They're trying to take a wave at this Kennedy defense.
So 2nd and 14, a little bit of an inauspicious way to start the second half if you're Cedar Rapids Prairie. 2nd down and 14 from the near side hash. Again, Wildcat look. Hobson gets the snap coming to the left side. Kicks it outside at the 35. Breaks a tackle to the 40. And taken down as he gets to the 42-yard line. Going to get a pretty good gain of 9 out of it.
The same formation, and it's just kind of like student body right, student body left.
3rd down, a little more than 5 from the 42-yard line. Just underway, second half. Brought to you by Epiphany Dermatology and Dr. John Woolner. They'll put Drew Bennis out to the right side. Again, that 3-back look with Hobson there. And they're going to hike it to Faison, the up back, and he just bulldozes his way for a 1st down. Goes for 6 to the 48-yard line.
Man, he's just got such great quickness and strength. And when you put that body lean in there with his girth, I don't know how you bring the guy down. You better not hit him high. It ain't going to work.
Getting a lot of looks from a lot of schools right now.
He's so explosive. I can't believe that he's not going to be in a D1 uniform next year.
Yeah, he will be. No doubt about it. 1st and 10 Prairie, 47-yard line. Receiver out to the right. Here's that Wildcat look again to Hobson. Flag down. Hobson will drag the pile to midfield. And we'll see. All indications are this is against Prairie.
Colt Hobson's dad played for me on that 2000 team. That
Anthony Hobson.
Anthony Hobson was a lineman for Blake Tiki,
who we saw earlier tonight.
who is over here coaching some of the young Metro Youth Cougar football players.
It is a hold on Prairie. I remember Anthony Hobson. He wasn't a big lineman.
No, but pretty cerebral, and I'll tell you what, he was a lot more physical than people knew.
Prairie back to their regular look here on 1st and 20. Cook will go in motion, tight end right to left, under center. And they'll fake it, and they'll run their counter. Maya up the middle to the 40 and gets to the 43-yard line. He'll go for 6 on his 3rd carry of the evening.
You know, when Anthony Hobson was a freshman in my science class, I talked him into coming out for our wrestling team. And within the first week, we nicknamed him Earthquake.
There's got to be a great story behind that. 2nd down and 14. From the right hash mark at the 42. Straight ahead handoff, and hitting the hole hard was May again. And he'll take it into Kennedy territory down to the Cougar 48. Just hard running right up the middle.
Well, when you got a big white wall of blockers in front of you pushing the green jerseys back, it's a lot easier. And May is just having fun right now.
3rd and 5 from the Kennedy 47. One setback. Receiver left and right. Faison tight end right. Cougars showing blitz. They don't bring it. Here's the handoff. May, and he gets hit hard. Javante Robinson going to bring him down for a loss of a couple back to the 50-yard line.
Everybody on the offense looking over to see if they're going to punt, and I don't think there's any question.
Well, Faison's the punter. And quarterback's coming back out there. And Prairie is going to go for it, at least showing they're going to go for it on 4th and 7.
They can't do a hard count because 5 yards wouldn't get them the 1st down.
Play clock down to 9, 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. And they're just going to try to bring Kennedy offside. And it will not work, and we're going to have a delay of game.
Good discipline by Kennedy there not to jump.
And now we'll see the Prairie punt team. Took off a pretty good chunk of that 3rd quarter clock, though. We're already down to 7:54. Not exactly sure why the clock stopped. Now we get it going. Kennedy will send Twins back at the 20-yard line to get the phase-on punt from the 45-yard line. Good snap. Steps into it. Gets it away. High, wobbly kick. Will take a bounce at the 25. A hawk bounce. Inside the 20, inside the 15, and another good roll down to the 10-yard line. 45 yards on the punt.
Faison second punt tonight, and he's been the beneficiary of some nice bounces.
Yes, he has. That was a better-looking punt, though. So Kennedy will have it for the first time here in the second half, down 14-0. But deep in their own kitchen at the 10-yard line. Will Woodring, the quarterback for the Cougars. Kennedy out of the eye. Woodring on the counter give. Here's Smith coming short side, breaks one tackle, and then taken down as he gets to the 14-yard line. Markson coming in to make the stop for Prairie. Mr. Kelly, or Mr. Nelson, is back in there, as you predicted.
And probably feeling a lot better.
Probably feeling a lot better. Smith goes for 4. And it's 2nd down and 6. Kennedy with a long way to go on their own 14-yard line. Smith tail the tandem in the eye. And they'll fake it to him. Woodring rolling to the right side to throw. Throws and a diving catch. No, incomplete. Tried to get it to Boyd, who made a diving attempt at the 21 but came up empty. And it'll be 3rd down. Kennedy has been hamstrung 1 out of 6 on 3rd downs in that first half. They'll try it again here on a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 6 from their own 14. They'll take the fullback out, bring in an extra wideout as Glady will come in there. 3rd down and 6. Blitz coming. Woodring rolling to the right side, directing traffic, under pressure, caught and thrown down. Coming up, Carson Hand, 5'11", 210-pound junior linebacker on the sack.
Woodring only had 2 receivers on that side of the field that he was scrambling to, and both of them were a good 30 yards downfield. There was nothing underneath for him to dump off to.
And it will be 4th down. Cougars will have to punt from their own end zone. Prairie will send 2 back at the 40-yard line. Garcia gets it away. A high kick coming up, making the catch and paying for it at the 38-yard line was Keandre Bush. Great special teams there for the Cougars.
Gavin Grant.
He's had a nice night. Interception in that play. 31 yards on the punt. But Prairie's going to have it at the Kennedy 38, already up 14-0. With 6 even to play here in the 3rd quarters, we're halfway home here in the 3rd.
This will be the 4th time tonight that Prairie has started a possession in Cougar territory.
Hawks will go with the 2 tight end look. 1 setback and handoff. Hobson coming right. And a little stutter move, got him a couple. Blake Bunting, first Cougar to make the hit, 6'2", 225-pound senior linebacker. As Hobson will go for 2. And a stalemate here in the 3rd quarter so far.
Tay Alexander checking in and going out wide to the left side of the field.
Bennis will go to the right. Hobson way back behind the quarterback, Conshog. Kale to throw. Going to throw that slant. Caught again by Alexander. And brought down inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. Another 18 yards on that slant.
Yeah, we saw that go for very similar yardage in the first half. Some soft coverage out there, but Alexander's so fast. It's hard to, I mean, you don't want to turn your back on him, and you don't want to give him much cushion either.
Gain of 18, 1st and 10. 3rd catch for 72 yards for Tay Alexander. Hobson the lone setback, and they'll fake it to him. Conchog to throw in the flat, catch made at the 15-yard line, and getting inside the 5 is Cook down to the 4. Broke a couple of tackles, and he's going to have a 1st and goal on a gain of 14. Tell you, 2 really nice tight ends. Or make that, yes, that was Cook, number 9. Their 9s are a little bit funky on the font for Prairie. But that was...
All their single digits are.
Yes, they are. 1st down and goal for the Hawks. Turn, handoff, Hobson off the right side. Stood up and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. As we come up on 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Keys coming up, making the stop for the Cougars from his nose guard position. Second down, goal. Give him about a half a yard there. Play clock at 14. Hobson the lone setback. Bennis to the right. Alexander to the left. 2 tight ends. And it's going to be a quarterback draw. Conchog reaching for the goal line, and he got it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that got over was the ball.
He held the ball out, broke the plane, and he got the touchdown.
No part of his body other than his hands that were holding the ball got across, just the ball.
4-yard run, and Prairie up 20-0. Hawks take advantage of the short field as Boxa will try the extra point. Braxton Baber to hold, the backup quarterback. Good snap, plays down, kick on its way, up, and it is good. 21-0. Number 9 rated Cedar Rapids Prairie on top of Cedar Rapids Kennedy. 3:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. We're back for the kickoff after this on CRM Live Sports.
Spinal Corrective Center, PC, 3800 River Ridge Drive, Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Dr. Gene Kretzinger and Dr. Janet Kuehl provide education to families on healthy living and wellness. If you want to reach optimum health and peak performance levels, or are suffering from injury, pain, and other health problems, the chiropractic care they provide can give you relief and stability. Spinal Corrective Center PC has over 50 years combined experience in chiropractic care. And athletes, let us help you perform at 100% through sports chiropractic care. Call today at 393-3996 to schedule an appointment, or go online at spinalcc.com. Spinal Corrective Center PC, delivering quality chiropractic care for the body to function at its highest level. First Federal Credit Union is proud to sponsor high school athletics. We understand the hard work and dedication it takes for these students to succeed on the field or in the classroom. At First Federal Credit Union, we work hard every day to listen, solve problems, and are dedicated to finding ways to help you with your financial needs. From home loans to auto loans, checking, or even the best savings rates in town, we're here to help you achieve your goals. Learn more about First Federal Credit Union at firstfedcu.com, member NCUA.
Neighbor getting the one-hop kick, bringing it back for Kennedy across the 25, and he'll take it out to about the 28-yard line. He'll stretch it out right there, and that's where the Cougars will put it into play, down by 3 touchdowns at 21-0.
Keyshawn Walker on the tackle there. Came up a little gimpy on his way over. Looks like he's kind of trying to get the bats out of the belfry.
Starting fullback. Maston in there in the backfield along with Neighbor. They'll go split backs behind Woodring. Under center for the Cougars. And they will toss it. Here's Neighbor trying to get to the right side corner. Hit hard by Schweiger and brought down. Penalty flags on the play as well.
And that's a quick holding call.
Yep. And well, you've said it, John. Kennedy they've had one really good drive that ended just before halftime on the fumble. Other than that, they have been behind the sticks all night.
Yeah, and the other problem is they can't run between the tackles. And we're going back to a little bit of that diamond formation with that spy backer back there, probably trying to key on Hobson or whoever the tailback is, because when you've only got one guy in the backfield, that's probably the one that's going to be running the ball. So that takes away all of the open space for blocking between the tackles. You got to go outside.
Shotgun this time for Will Woodring. He'll get the snap off the fake, looking to throw. Under pressure, steps up in the pocket and got back to the line of scrimmage as he was being chased by a bevy of Hawks, including Carson Hand.
Again, Woodring looking to the sideline for some passing routes, but blanket coverage by Prairie downfield, so had to just tuck it under and make anything he could out of it.
Prairie gets their home opener finally next week.
Yeah, they've been the Road Warriors.
Waukee comes over. Kennedy gets Bettendorf here next Friday night at Kingston Stadium. Kuchera in motion, tight end left to right. He'll block, and Woodring nowhere to go. Quarterback draw swallowed up by Matt Blong from his linebacker spot. And Kennedy will face a 3rd and 20 coming up.
Blong, number 11 defender for Prairie. Not one of those guys whose name we've called a lot tonight, but I tell you what, they swarm to the ball so well. Blong's always in there.
Cougars with a 3rd down and a whole bunch. 3rd and 20 from the 19-yard line. High snap. They're going to throw the deep one. Caught along the sideline and gone is Braden Peck. 10-5 touchdown. Just a long streak route down the near sideline.
Well, and that couldn't have been thrown any better. Hit him in stride. He had a step on the defender, and there was no way he was going to be run down.
81-yard pass and catch to Braden Peck, and Kennedy on the board, and the Prairie defense gives up their first points of the year.
There's the big play we were talking about in keys to the game, too. Cougars pulled out one of those nice, long, big plays for a score.
Carter Poppy, they need their holder out there. Makes his way out there. Andrew Ritchie, the kicker for Kennedy, the senior. Right-hand specialist. And he will try to tack on the extra point. Good snap, placed down, line drive kick. No, he hooked it. No good, and it remains 21-6 with 1:47 to play here in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a quick break, come back to Kingston after this here on CRM Live Sports.
At Jersey Mike's, we've offered a sub above since 1956. It starts with bread, fresh baked in our stores every day, topped with quality meats, cheeses, and ingredients sliced and grilled right in front of your eyes. And don't forget to add the juice, the red wine vinegar and olive oil blend that gives a Jersey Mike's subs its exquisite zing. Stop in and visit Jersey Mike's now at their 3 metro locations in the Fountains on the northeast side and on the east end of Marion near the corner of Highways 151 and 13 and Edgewood Road in the Westdale area. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Hills Bank is your hometown financial champion, here to help you score some wins. Because at Hills Bank, managing your money is easy. They've got 19 local branches across the corridor, 40,000 surcharge-free ATMs around the country, and online account access at any time. Whether you're a student athlete or a superfan, Hills Bank helps you get in the game. Hills Bank, where it's easy to connect with a banker over the phone or on hillsbank.com. Because we believe banking is better through human connection. Hills Bank is an equal housing lender and FDIC member.
Home crowd getting into it a little bit. Has Kennedy back within 2 touchdowns, 21-6. Ritchie for the approach and the line drive kick, taken on a hop. Here comes Bush up the middle, 25-30, look out. He'll cut it back to the 40, and maybe a touchdown saving tackle by Lawson Neighbor. John, my goodness, what speed Keandre Bush has.
And you're right. If Neighbor doesn't come up and make an arm tackle there by grabbing some of the jersey to get him down, he's gone.
Got all the way to the 46-yard line, though.
And it was right up the middle, too. There was no going down a sideline.
So Prairie, 1:40 to play here in the 3rd. We'll bring the offense out, 21-6 Hawks. And May back in there as the running back. First down from the 46-yard line. They're going to throw there, and the pass incomplete, but there's a flag down all over Bennis that time, the Kennedy D-back. They went to that well again with that deep slant. And that's going to be an easy interference call.
Secondary for Kennedy's defense tonight has tried to play physically, but in 3 instances, it's cost them. One face mask and a couple of other just muggings.
Going to be a 15-yard penalty on the Cougars. So Prairie already with the ball down on the 39-yard line. Conshog, the quarterback, double tight ends, Faison on the right side, Cook on the left. From the Kennedy 39-yard line, Conshog, short drop. He will throw it deep left side. Has Bennis out there, leaping catch made along the sideline. Down at the 10-yard line, 29 yards. And the first catch tonight for Drew Bennis.
Yeah, Bennis got some great separation down there on his team's sideline and just had to turn around and wait for the ball to come to him.
Looked good on that catch, though.
Soft hands, brought it in. Great receiver skills.
First down and goal, and they straight ahead handoff and nothing doing that time. And it'll be second down and goal right at, well, just inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Dane May, I believe, the carrier on that.
We come up on a minute to play. Second down and goal for the Hawks. Latter stages of quarter number 3 here from Kingston Stadium. Conshog off the fake. Boots to the right. Hit as he throws and threw it short to Cook, incomplete. He got absolutely hammered, and coming in again was Colton Klein. He's been in there a couple times tonight.
Yeah, they call him on that outside in blitz, and when he comes, Prairie doesn't have an answer to block him. It's just here he comes for the quarterback, and Conchak doesn't get rid of that ball. I mean, he's going to have to eat it hard.
Third and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Bennis one-on-one on the right. Alexander up top to the left. Conchak back to throw. Looking for the end zone. Throws incomplete. Threw it high as he was trying to get it to Cook. And Jackson Goslin made the defensive play, and we're going to see a Prairie field goal attempt with 42 seconds to play here in the third quarter. As the junior boxer coming in to try the we'll call it a 24-yard attempt from the left hash mark. Good snap. Places down, the kick on its way, and it is good. With 36 seconds to play here in the third. And it's 24-6 now in favor of Prairie. Good weapon for the Hawks to have, like we talked about in the pregame show.
When you've got a reliable kicker that's got some decent distance from a strong leg like that, I mean, it's such a big weapon. And we've seen already in this early going in the season some teams that have some nice kickers.
And we now have the official pronunciation. I send it out to my man, Steve Dozier. My.
It is not May.
It is not May. It is
M-A-I is my.
There you go. Or at least the Prairie personnel that told him that believes it is.
Well, as in maybe kind of T-H-A-I, tie, something like that.
Could be. So Drake, we apologize. We will never get it wrong again. 36 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. And a squib kick will come down the middle of the field. Got by Peck and picked up by Maston way back at the 5-yard line, coming right to the 10, trying to get something out of it. Squeeze through, and look out, he may go. Down the right side, no one is going to catch him. And Kennedy is back in this ball game.
How many times have we seen that, Scott, over the years?
A lot.
And I can't explain it.
The entire special teams just kind of went by the returner after the ball squirted loose. And just like that, we got a new ball game. 24-12. And I think Brian White wants to go for 2. BJ and Brian White are out there. They want the 2-point try, I believe. To get it down to 8, it's at 9 with the successful extra point. And Richie will kick it. It is up and good. And we've had some fireworks here in the last minute. 24-13. But you saw that as clearly as I did, John. The Kennedy staff wanted to go for 2 there.
Yes, they did. And head coach Brian White's still mad about that as he's stalking up and down the sideline. Oh, he's still pumping his fists. I'd hate to be up in the box and be on the other end of his microphone right now because he is just beside himself.
Well, Kennedy getting back into this one. As the Cougars put 13 up here in the third quarter.
Well, of course, the difference there would have been 10 points instead of 11, which, you know, understandable that Brian White would have wanted that extra point in going for 2.
So Kennedy will kick it away here. Special teams, such a big factor in the game of football. As Richie has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Keandre Bush near side. Drew Bennis on the far side for Prairie. As he'll kick it off from right to left. With 20 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Here's the approach and another squib kick. And will be picked up at the 21-yard line. Again, this is Jaden Stumpf. And he'll bring it back to the 34. Time for one final play here in the third quarter, perhaps. It's going to be the stats in the third quarter for Kennedy are going to be so bizarre.
Well, courtesy of a kickoff return and a bomb.
Cougars, other than the 81-yard touchdown bomb, had -3 yards in the third quarter.
And yet picked up 13 points.
Walker back in there. Good to see offset eye. He'll be the blocker. Here comes Mai off the right side. And Mai will take it to the 42-yard line, which will take us to the end of the third quarter. So we are through 3 and a wild one here at Kingston. Number 9, Cedar Rapids Prairie 24, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 13. And we will come back with our fourth quarter right after this here on CRM Live Sports.
End your search for your favorite restaurant in Cedar Rapids. Come to Emil's Hideaway. Emil's is the home for the best tasting American food around. Choose from your favorites: chicken, pasta dishes, pizzas, burgers, and fries. Whether you're bringing the whole family for a meal or wetting your whistle at our fully stocked bar, there's something to satisfy all ages and tastes at our classic American local restaurant. Need catering for your next party or event? Emil's has that too. Call them for details. Emil's Hideaway, open Monday through Saturday at 4 p.m., is right next to Home Depot and across from Lindale Mall on 1st Avenue Southeast in Cedar Rapids. American Family Insurance agent Kurt Gustafson is committed to inspiring and protecting dreams right here in Cedar Rapids and the surrounding area. He starts by getting to know you and your needs and build a free auto, home, or life insurance quote. By bundling policies, we can often offer a variety of discounts. Whether you're purchasing a car, Buying property, managing an investment property, starting a small business, or leaving behind a legacy, we've got your back as you pursue your dreams, and we'll help protect them. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. See Kurt Gustafson Agency of American Family Insurance on Johnson Avenue Southwest, right across from the Johnson Avenue Hy-Vee for more details.
Prairie starts the fourth quarter with the handoff to Dane Mai. And a flag is down here to start quarter number 4. And Prairie's going backwards, and it's going to be another hold. And we've seen a ton of laundry on the field tonight. Total yardage through 3 quarters, Prairie 227, Kennedy 176. Kennedy back into it with big plays, one on the special teams and one on the offensive side. So now it's a 2nd down and 12 for Prairie. Wide side of the field to the left for Conshog and company. They'll run it short side to Mai. Lowers the shoulder and gets to about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Jed Ousley on the stop for the Cougar defense.
Cal Knock just going back to the traditional pro set and an I backfield with a fullback. Couple plays in a row where they just led the fullback through onto a linebacker for the traditional ISO play.
Prairie 2 out of 4 on 3rd down tries in the ball game tonight. This one a 3rd and long, 3rd down and 8. Hawks out of the I formation with a receiver to the left side. Conshog back to throw. Sets up. Throws deep. Has Benes under it at the 30. 25, 20. Turns on the Jets. Touchdown Prairie. Wow. 64 yards. What a throw. And then Benes showed the speed.
Speed kills. And that ball was just lofted up, and he ran under it. It was that simple. There was really almost no targeting. Just get the ball up in the air and let him go get it. That's the speed he has.
That was impressive. 30-13, just like that. As Junior Baxa will try to tack on the extra point. Waiting for the snap. Here it is. Line drive kick. It is good. 31-13 as Prairie tacks on their version of the big play. 64 yards from Conshog to Drew Benes. We'll take a break and come back with our kickoff from Kingston right after this here on CRM Live Sports.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful. Plumbing fixtures, a great variety. Transform your home with Plum Supply. Our kitchen designs are amazing. Our service is priceless. Plum Supply. Touch and see. Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
This thing has turned into a track meet, literally, John. Since the 1 minute mark of the 3rd quarter, we've had, I believe, 4 different touchdowns. How about that?
Well, we talked in the pregame about some of the keys to the game, one of them being big plays, and we had to wait for the first half to see them, but they're on display now. Both teams have successfully used them for touchdowns.
Prairie to kick it off. With the 31-13 lead, Box's kick will skip down to about the 12-yard line. Neighbor on the hop, 15, up the numbers 20, 25, and then hit hard and runs over a Hawk at the 31. And Kennedy will have it right there, 1st and 10. Quick play Prairie. How about that?
Western Dubuque giving Xavier a little bit of a game here at end of 3 as they go into the 4th quarter. Xavier holding on to a 14-7 advantage.
How about that? Western Dubuque's got a good team.
Blocked a short field goal of Xavier's as well.
That will not make Dwayne Schulte happy. 1st and 10 Cougars at the 31-yard line. Woodring back to throw. He's under pressure. Got away from one. Couldn't get away from the second one. As coming up, Christ Kelly Nelson on the stop and the sack for the Hawks. That is their 3rd of the night. And you know that makes Mo Blue happy. That'll be a loss of 4. Cedar Falls PV tied at 14 in the 3rd quarter.
That sounds about right.
Cedar Falls playing a tough schedule too. So's PV. 2nd down and 14. High snap, throw out in the left flat. Boyd surrounded and hit and brought down. Going to be a big loss of about 5. Max Schweiger was there. Brady Paterka was there as well for the Hawks.
Yeah, Kennedy has had some success earlier in this game with that double wide receiver screen out there near the sideline, but they're kind of going to the well once too often on that, or at least, if not that, they're showing it enough times to the cornerbacks and the outside linebackers for Prairie that they're reading it very, very easily now.
3rd down and 20 for Kennedy, back in their own 22-yard line. Shotgun for Woodring. One setback, trips to the right. Shotgun snap. Oh, Faison came in, hit the quarterback, ball loose. Still loose at the 10-yard line. And Kennedy, believe, got it back. My
that was
goodness.
A brutal hit. David Faison is a beast. He is putting on a highlight reel here tonight defensively that is going to make Division I people salivate. That was unbelievable, Scott.
That was
it was brutal.
Hit him. Hit him. It was legal. Absolutely
it was
legal.
All
hit.
legal.
Garcia to punt. High, wobbly, short kick, and this one will take a Prairie bounce and touched up at the 31-yard line. Only going to be about a 22-yard punt, and the Hawks will get it right back. Yeah, David Faison is going to be he will be a Division I football player next year.
So let me tell you what's going to happen going forward here to the teams that have to prepare for Prairie's defense. Whoever their quarterbacks are, I guarantee you when they watch film, they're going to say, I have to look on every play to see where David Faison is lined up. I have got to know where he's at.
Yeah.
It's going to be mental intimidation.
Sure will. 1st and 10. Prairie keeping it on the ground, and not much for Hobson. He's back into the ball game. Have not seen Dawson Call tonight after the injury last week. And he was cleared to play, but I think Prairie probably making the right call right here.
Well, every position for Prairie is so deep that as long as you've got a lead and you're feeling comfortable, I don't think you're going to be seeing something like that. No risk needs to be taken there.
Under 8 minutes to play in the ball game. 31-13 Prairie. 2nd down and 10. Conshock turns, hands it off to Hobson, spins right at the point of attack, and got about 1, maybe 2. Javante Robinson has had a nice game for Kennedy from that linebacker spot on the stop, and a Cougar coming out holding his arm, and that's Bunting, Blake Bunting. Might have got a stinger. Trying to walk it off there. 3rd down. Calling a long 8 for Prairie from the 31-yard line. Conshog under center, throws, there's a slant, caught 20, 15, and down to the 12-yard line. And there's Cook. That will go for 18, his 3rd catch.
So many playmakers for this Prairie Hawk offense. Just a nice little seam slant route. Got behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties, an easy pitch and catch.
In the red zone now, 1st and 10 at the Kennedy 12. As Prairie trying to put this one away, and they'll have to do it 5 yards back. As The only thing I think Kyle Knox going to not be real happy about tonight is the laundry. That's 8.
Well, and 3 turnovers in the first half ain't going to make him happy either.
No. I know it won't make Dad happy. Good to talk to Don Knock before the game. And Tim Lewis.
The Hall of Famer, Don Knock.
That's right. Konshog to throw. There's the slant. There's the catch. There's the touchdown. Alexander. Another slant and another score, this time from 17 yards out.
Boy, Tay Alexander is so quick, and he knows how to find the open spaces for him to be hit there. And it's, on those slants, it's just been deadly all night.
Short field. Prairie takes advantage. And then the Hawks have put this one away with 6:28 to play in the ball game. Junior Baxa to try to tack on the extra point, and does. 38-13. Cedar Rapids Prairie looks to go to 2-0 on the year as they lead here at Kingston. We'll take a break, come back with a kickoff after this here on CRM Live Sports.
Your search for healthy, fast casual in the downtown is over. Whether it's a quick bite you're looking for or a freshly made smoothie, Stack Wellness Cafe has expanded healthy eating in downtown Cedar Rapids. Business professionals as well as gym goers are singing the praises of our freshly made wraps and breakfast bowls, while the smoothie lover can choose from a variety of nutritious fruit and protein options, including your choice of adding the newest frontline supplements. For a fast, healthy, and convenient downtown option, look no further than Stack Wellness Cafe.
Scott Unash, John Haggerty back with you here at Kingston. As Prairie getting ready to kick it off, up 38-13. See if we can get you some scores here on the Emils Hideaway out-of-town scoreboard before and during this kick. Still 14-14 PV and Cedar Falls. As here's Bax's approach. And the kick from right to left. High, end over end. Running up, making the catch at the 12. Neighbor with blockers in front. Cross the 25 and gets out to the 27-yard line. As see if we can get a Pella. End of 3. Pella and Waverly. 3-3. How about that?
Waverly's going to give you a great effort every year.
Yes, they are. Grundy Center, the beat goes on. 41-7 tonight.
They're otherworldly.
Over Waterloo Columbus.
I don't know how they do it, but every year.
First down, here's the counter give. Neighbor will take it left side and got back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, Owen Markson has played a nice game for Prairie. And Brady Paterka coming up there as well to make the stop. And that will be for no gain.
Prairie's defense would love to have that long pass, the bomb that they gave up to Braden Peck. Because other than that, I mean, they've just played lights out tonight defensively.
West Liberty leading Tipton 24-7 in the fourth quarter. Ankeny leading Waukee 18-6 in the fourth quarter. On second and long, Woodring to throw. He's under pressure, and look out. Flushed, and down he goes as Christ King Nelson in there for Prairie's 5th sack. And that's going to be a loss of 7 more.
This Hawk defense is so quick. They play so fast to the ball, and they swarm. They're just a handful.
And you give Mo Blue, he smells blood in the water. Like a good defensive coordinator should. As you know, John.
He loves sending people from all directions.
Does. Third down and 18 back on the 20-yard line for Kennedy. Terry Boyd coming in motion to the left. Slot that way, and we've got a penalty flag and going to be a delay game against Kennedy. And that's going to back the Cougars up 5 more.
let's go back to defensive coordinator Mo Blue here for Prairie's defense. He has employed a number of schemes tonight to just completely take away any running attack that Kenny would have had between the tackles. He's had the spy with a triangle formation. He has walked up his outside linebackers, in essence creating a 5 or 6 man front.
Toss sweep, neighbor coming left, and Faison ran him down after a gain of a yard.
And you can say the same thing for Prairie's offense too. How many different formations and schemes have we seen? How many looks have they given offensively tonight? This Prairie team on both sides of the ball has just been very tough to read by the opposition. Kennedy's had, they're kind of scratching their head all night, and anybody would be.
Another Cougar punt. Garcia gets it away. Best punt of the night, and a fair catch called for and made by Stumpf. And that will be back at about the 48-yard line. So Garcia's punt will go 37 yards. 3:56 to go. Until, well, the other thing for Prairie that is very, very impressive is the fact they've done this against 2 rivals, and they've done it on the road.
How about this for a second half offensively for Prairie? Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown.
That's about as good as it gets. Conshog on the handoff, and off the right side, fumbling the football looked like was Trey Reynolds, but got it back. 5'10", 185-pounder, and he gets to the Kennedy 49 for a gain of 3. A lot of folks over there wearing white for Prairie.
I went through during warm-ups, and I think you can count on one hand the number of jerseys that don't have a number between 0 and 99.
Prairie's all second-teamers besides their quarterback. Is Conshog still in there, and they'll hand it off one more time to Trey Reynolds coming left, and it's taken down by Anthony Keys after a pickup of about 3. Very impressed, to say the least, by this Prairie football team, as they got a 3rd and 4 as we're under 3 to play here from Kingston.
Yeah, they're up 37-13 right now, and they had 3 turnovers. In the hypothetical, okay, give Prairie 21 more points.
I thought they called that extra point good. They must have changed their minds. So it is 37-13. On 3rd down, they will keep it on the ground, and second effort by Reynolds. Not much, got back to the line of scrimmage. And see if Prairie intends to punt it away here. This will be only the second 3 and out for Prairie on the night. Well, in 2 minutes, all these coaches are going to be friends again.
Maybe tomorrow morning. This is going to be a tough one for Kennedy.
Prairie taking all of that play clock, and then I think they're going to burn a timeout here, it looks like. Down to 5. And timeout going to be taken by the Hawks. So we'll take timeout as well. Minute 44 to play in the ball game. 37-13 in favor of Prairie. Back after this on CRM Live Sports.
The Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades Council represents 18 building trade unions in the corridor. Each union provides skilled workers for construction projects throughout the area. Union workers are highly skilled professionals who are determined to better their communities. The building trades unions are always looking toward the future. Training in registered apprenticeships is available. Visit their website at cricbt.org for more information. The Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building and Trades Council, committed to getting the job done right the first time.
37-13 in favor of Prairie. Hawks have led the whole way. Kennedy did get it down to 9 at one point. or I beg your pardon, down to 11 at one point. But that's as close as the Cougars would get. Faison's going to come in to punt. Line of scrimmage will be the Kennedy 46-yard line. And there's the snap back. Gets it away. Another low line driver. And it will be let go. And another Faison bounce. Down to the 4. 42. He's done everything but sell programs tonight, if they had programs still.
It's just amazing. We've seen some unbelievable prep players through the years together, Scott. I don't know if we've ever seen one as explosive as David Faison. I mean, it's just scary what some of the things that he can do. He's that beast-like.
He's been I believe a 4-year guy, because he got in a little bit as a freshman at Wash, if I recall, where he started his prep career, and then played a lot as a sophomore in the last 2 years at Prairie. First down for Kennedy, and they'll scrimmage from the 4-yard line with 90 seconds to play here in the ball game. And a new quarterback in there, a high snap, and then a tackle at the goal line or in the end zone. Not going to say he got out.
Yeah, he had some forward progress there.
Hunter Gwynn is the new quarterback, or is that 15 or 16?
Boy, look at where that ball was placed, though, Scott.
On the foot line. That's Poppy in there. Carter Poppy is the quarterback. 6'2", 180-pounder.
The back tip of that football is right on the goal line.
So it'll be second down at the 1-yard line. Under a minute to play. And we have a lineman move. And
might as well. You can't go back any farther.
Yeah, that's going to cost Kennedy maybe 2 centimeters. And with 48 seconds to play here in the ball game. The last thing Brian White wants is a safety here. Just to kind of make it look worse than it is. Going to snap a 3-game Kennedy winning streak in this series. First game since 2020. Poppy under center. He's just going to take it himself on the quarterback sneak. Trying to get some room, and does.
That should do it.
That should do it. I don't think anybody wants to run another play. And Prairie lining up. And they're going to be 2-0, and it is 38, John. See, I wasn't seeing things on that extra point. 38-13 is going to be our final score. Cedar Rapids Prairie going to go to 2-0 with an impressive victory here at Kingston Stadium over Cedar Rapids Kennedy. We'll take a break, come back, and have the Westridge Care Center postgame show for you right after this on CRM Live Sports.
Are you looking for one unique workout location that combines everything you're looking for? The House of Iron is redefining the Cedar Rapids area fitness landscape. House of Iron isn't just another gym. It's a sanctuary for anyone seeking to transform their life through physical and mental well-being. Sporting state-of-the-art equipment and hexagonal lighting, not only is the space illuminated with a sense of energy and purpose, you will be too. Take advantage of our other amenities like a cold plunge, a sauna, ultra-modern locker room, showers, and a picture and posing room, and more. House of Iron offers monthly memberships as well as personal training sessions for people of all ages and ability. Whether you're a seasoned fitness enthusiast or just beginning your wellness adventure, House of Iron promises to be more than just a gym. It's a beacon of hope, positivity, and vitality. House of Iron with 2 locations on the west side and in the historic World Theater Building downtown. Whether you need long-term care or short-term rehabilitation for your elder, one visit to Westridge Care Center and you'll see what has made them one of the finest nursing care facilities in the area since 1992. At Westridge Care Center, our #1 priority is to make all loved ones in our care safe and healthy. Westridge Care Center implements the Eden philosophy to reflect an environment of living as a habitat for humans instead of a place of frailty and waiting. Call 390-3367 to arrange a tour of their privately owned single-entity facility with private rooms with all the amenities. West Ridge Care Center, 3131 F Avenue Northwest, Cedar Rapids, and online at westridgecarecenter.com. Carpenters Local 308 in Cedar Rapids is a member of the North Central States Regional Council of Carpenters, representing nearly 27,000 members and their families in the upper Midwest. The union is dedicated to protecting and elevating the economic and social conditions of all workers and to provide our industry with the best trained, most productive, and safest workforce available. Carpenters Local 308 is always looking for new workers to join their ranks. Apprenticeship classes and training are available for you to become a skilled worker for your career. More information on Carpenters Local 308 is available at carpenterslocal308.org. Looking for the best in commercial and residential flooring? At Schumacher Carpets and More, it's the little things that count. Family owned since 1987, the professionals at Schumacher have what you're looking for. Whether it is carpet, luxury vinyl plank, ceramic, laminate, or wood, their personal service and quality products set Schumacher apart in the flooring industry. Famous for a relaxed and pressure-free shopping experience, let the experts at Schumacher Carpets and More break down your options with just a simple conversation. Call, visit, or request an online quote from their website today.
Welcome back to the Bob Brooks Press Box here at Kingston Stadium. Scott Unash, John Hegarty with you as Cedar Rapids Prairie defeats Cedar Rapids Kennedy tonight. 38-13 to go to 2-0. A very impressive performance by the P-Hawks tonight as they will head back there to the Southern Tiers and all the great ports of call of college community.
I've never seen a winning team go through the tunnel and out of the stadium as fast as the Prairie Hawks did.
This was a pretty impressive performance tonight.
You know what they did was shot themselves in the foot a little bit in that first half with a fumble, an interception, and another fumble, which, you know, theoretically could have taken 3 more scores off of the board had they converted on those. But they just came out in the second half, and I mean, it was lights out. Touchdown, a field goal, another touchdown on top of that. I mean, 4 scores in a row, and it was just look out. And that was despite the fact that 2 plays brought 13 points to the Cougars in the middle of all that. But it was just a second half of domination, other than those 2 plays, by just a really sound and physically gifted, well-coached Prairie Hawk team.
Yeah, a Prairie Hawk team, I think that is going to make some noise.
Already are,
but these are 2 good football teams. This is not a bad Kennedy football team either. And they got this thing down to 11 at 24-13. Had opportunities, but good teams put away teams when they make a little run like Kennedy did.
You know, the thing I'm left with as just my first thoughts about Prairie is they're so incredibly deep. I mean, there are no weak players on the field. We've talked about this many times, Scott, that back in the day when I was still down there with a whistle around my neck, one of the first things we always did when we were scouting an opponent was we looked for the weak links in the opposition. And you could almost always find at least 1, sometimes 2. There are no weak links on this Prairie team. Every guy that's out there is there for a reason, and they're all impact players, every one of them. And, you know, it's easy to see why. They look over at the bench, and there's another 70 guys, if not more, waiting to take their place. So they've got to be impact players.
Yeah.
They're just so deep, and they're so well schooled up. And, you know, the only thing that they have got a couple of things left ahead of them yet. It's still early in the season. They need to make people believe by beating some of those Des Moines area metro teams that the Waukee that is coming up there, the other CIML teams, if you will. I know that there's no league play in football, but they need to start knocking off some of those big boys. Now, they did it last year to defending champ Southeast Polk, but then they just couldn't see it through to the end of the season. I guarantee you that Kyle Knock and his staff are talking and getting in the heads of their Prairie players. We got to do this not just once or twice throughout the season where we shock somebody. We've got to take this out every Friday night, and then we've got to carry it on into a deep playoff run. I guarantee you they're talking about that, Scott.
Yeah, indeed. And thanks to Coach Fuller saying Faison did not play as a freshman at Wash. I thought he did, but might have been on the roster at some point, but did not get in. But thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. And thanks for listening.
From the Department of Corrections.
There you go. That was our second of the night. So if we only have 2, I think we're doing okay.
Dane my.
We will never forget that one. 38-13 is the final score as Cedar Rapids Prairie gets the victory over the Kennedy Cougars here at Kingston Stadium tonight. Kennedy will get ready. It doesn't get any easier. The Bettendorf Bulldogs come in next Friday night, and Prairie finally gets their home opener as they will have Waukee, could be an 0-2 Waukee team coming into John Wall Memorial Field next week. Welcome into our Westridge Care Center post-game show, brought to you by Westridge. They're a privately owned facility that offers 24-hour community of care, which ensures that each person feels welcome. Call to learn more about their services or to schedule a tour at 390-3367 and find them online at westridgecarecenter.com. It was a 14-0 game at the half in favor of Prairie, and then the fireworks started at the end of the third quarter. Prairie took a 21-0 lead on a Cale Conshock 4-yard run. And then Kennedy came back with the big play. Woodring to Peck, the 81-yard bomb down the sideline. The extra point, though, was missed. Prairie came right back. They got a field goal from Junior Baxa just ahead of the end of the third quarter, but not so fast. A squib kick was pinballed around a little bit back inside the 10 to the 5-yard line, finally picked up, and a 95-yard kickoff return for Kennedy. And that got the Cougars within 11 at 24-13. But then Prairie put it away, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, both on passes. Beautiful 64-yard bomb from Conshock to Bennis. And then the Prairie had a ton of slants tonight. Got one to Tay Alexander from 17 yards out for the final points to make it 38-13. Unofficially, the total yardage, 148 for Kennedy, 342 for the Prairie Hawks tonight. For Prairie, Cale Conshock, 12 of 15 after going last week 14 of 18. He was 12 of 15, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He was very, very good tonight, too.
That'll get you a high quarterback rating.
Yes, it will. Bennis caught 2 for 93 and a touchdown. Tay Alexander led Prairie with 4 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown. Cook had 3 for 42. David Faison, 2 for 28. And Walker, 1 for 2. On the ground, it was for Prairie, Colt Hobson leading the way, 12 carries and 50 yards and a touchdown. Mai carried it 8 times for 33 yards. He had a touchdown as well. Conshock also with a touchdown in the ball game tonight. Prairie unofficially 14 first downs. Hawks were penalized 8 times for 55 yards. 5 sacks in the ball game for the Hawks, including, I believe, at least 2 for Faison. And Prairie turned it over 3 times tonight. For Kennedy, 148 total yards, 50 on the ground, 98 through the air. Will Woodring, 7 of 12 for 98 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. Kennedy led by Peck with the 1 grab for 81 yards and the touchdown. 2 catches for Neighbor, and Boyd with 2. Kuchera only caught 1 tonight. He was quiet.
Very early in the game, too.
Yes, for Kennedy. Smith also with 1 catch. Kennedy just could not get the ground game going. It was Smith leading the way, 7 carries for 19 yards. Woodring, 13 carries for 13 yards. Maston carried it twice for 14 yards. Kennedy was 7 first downs, and Kennedy had 9 penalties in the ball game for a total of 85 yards. 2 sacks and 2 turnovers. Third down conversions, Kennedy was 2 of 10, while Prairie was 4 of 7 in the ball game. And time of possession, a slight edge to Kennedy, 24 minutes, 44 seconds to 23-16 for the Prairie Hawks. So that's the tail of the tape in this one here tonight. Time to pick our play of the game. It's brought to you by Carpenters Local 308. They're dedicated to protecting their workers and to provide the best trained workforce available. Apprenticeship classes and training are available at carpenterslocal308.org. And I'm tempted to say the 64-yard touchdown pass to Drew Bennis, because Kennedy had a little momentum at that time. And
yes,
that
coming off 2 scores.
And that squashed the momentum very, very quickly.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back scores by Kennedy kind of got the electricity back on the green sideline. But, yeah, that 64-yard pass to Bennis, that put all doubts. It drove the dagger home.
Yeah, it did. And, I'm sorry, Bettendorf is who Prairie gets next week. Kennedy gets Waukee. I had that backwards, so I apologize. So there's 3. We had the hat trick tonight. So Bettendorf next week for Prairie, and Kennedy will get Waukee coming up next week. So Waukee, more than likely 0-2 unless they had a big comeback in the fourth quarter against Johnston. They're going to be a little unhappy.
I'm afraid so.
Coming over here to Kingston Stadium next week. So, yes, Prairie gets Bettendorf, and then Kennedy gets Waukee, and then Prairie gets Waukee.
Northwest.
Is it Northwest?
I believe so.
Okay. I just looked ahead to week 3, but you got it down on your sheet right
after
there.
Bettendorf, Prairie's got Waukee Northwest.
Wow. That's
who is probably the better of the 2.
Yeah, that's no doubt. And they see how they're doing with Valley tonight. We'll get to that on the Emils Hideaway out-of-town scoreboard coming up here. So that is our play of the game, the 64-yard pass to Drew Bennis. That is our Carpenters Local 308 play of the game. Our player of the game brought to you by Schumacher Carpets and More. Looking for the best in commercial and residential flooring? At Schumacher Carpets and More, it's the little things that count. Call, visit, or request an online quote at their website, schumachercarpets.com. And you want to go offense or defense? Or we could go co-offense and defense for this one, John, because you had great individual performances by Cale Conshog and David Faison tonight.
I don't know how Conshog could have played much better. Now, he's the beneficiary of some awful darn good, speedy receivers with great hands, but his efficiency in just passing the ball alone. I mean, I apologize, I can't remember what the yardage he had when he ran the ball was, but he was an effective runner. When he needed to make some yardage on his own, he did that. You know, he was just the field general. And defensively, there is no doubt that David Faison is otherworldly. You talk about some of the most impactful players that could take a game into their hands. You know, you go back and you think about the Tim Dwights and people like that. I'm going to put David Faison right now, anyway, up there with some of the most dominating play that I've ever seen in a high school field.
Yeah, he was that good tonight. So we'll split that between David Faison and Conshog tonight. Our players of the game brought to you by Schumacher Carpets and More. So Prairie looking good. They go to 2-0 as the Hawks will get ready for their home opener coming up next week at John Wall Memorial Field. And
think there will be many college community fan faithful out there for their home opener?
Oh, there'll be a few. There will be a few. And Kennedy will play at home next week as well. Next week for us, Thursday and a Friday, back here at Kingston for Wash and Clinton coming up on Thursday night. And then on Friday night, we'll be over in Marion. It'll be the Marion Wolves taking on Davenport North. And that will be coming up next week. Non-district 4A action. Davenport North, a 4A school. In fact, North
dropped down, didn't they?
And West are both. You ever think Davenport West would be?
No.
At one time, they were the biggest school in the state.
Yes, they were back in the 70s.
Yes, and now that's not all going with the enrollment figures. That's also including some of the other factors that they go with.
That's correct. There are some multiplier things that we'll get into another night.
Yes, but Davenport North coming to Marion, I will say for the first time to play football.
I dare say that's true.
Next week.
We've seen Davenport North a couple of times in recent years, though, so
they've
no
had some
stranger
good
to
teams.
us.
They've had a couple of playoff teams. So that will be a good one coming up next Friday. John, have a great weekend.
Gotta love these 2-game weeks. And get another one next week. That's great.
And one that gets done at 9:23
take
that
it.
we're off the air.
I'll take it.
All right. Big thanks to all our great sponsors. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, you can hear all our archived games at crmlivesports.com. For John Haggerty, Scott Udash saying so long. Final score here tonight at Kingston Stadium. 5A number 9, Cedar Rapids Prairie with the victory, 38-13 over Cedar Rapids Kennedy. You've been listening to a sports presentation of CRM Live Sports, and so long from Kingston Stadium.